Cubs are on the air. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to exciting Major League Baseball from beautiful Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Cubs opening up the homestand against the Houston Astros today, tomorrow, and a doubleheader Sunday. And Houston is going to be followed on Monday by the Montreal Expos for a doubleheader, and then the Philadelphia Phillies will close this one out. I'm Vince Lloyd, along with Lou Boudreau. Welcome to our broadcast. Sure hope we're going to be able to bring you a Cubs victory today as Mike Krukow goes after his 7th win of the year, and he faces a big, strong, hard-throwing right-hander James Rodney Richards, who is 14-11 with this ball club. When you consider Richards' record, 3 games over 500, against the fact that the Houston ball club is 8 games under 500, you know he's been doing an outstanding job. Fine earned run average for him. He threw a lot of BBs against the Cubs, had a shutout going until he suddenly lost control with an 8-0 lead down at the Astros in the first game of the Cubs' recent road trip. And, of course, they went on to win that ball game and sweep that series. So today, the Cubs hope to turn the tables on them. Our broadcast this afternoon, and boy, what a beautiful day for a ball game, is brought to you by True Value Hardware Stores. Not just a name, it's their way of doing business, True Value. The G. Heilman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country. The Association of Chicagoland, McDonald's Restaurant. The Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealers. Find out how the gallop bin of Olds can make car buying a pleasure for you. Oldsmobile. And by General Finance's 70 Chicagoland offices to borrow up to $10,000. Call friendly Bob Adams at Andover 3-2020. You'll find him there right now. For the visiting Astros this afternoon, a couple of changes in their regular lineup. They've lost Art Howe, a very fine infielder who's got a broken finger over the last weekend, and he's going to be out for the next 3 weeks or so. And they brought up a young man whom they obtained in a minor league deal last year from the Chicago Cubs, Keith Drumright. But leading off for him will be Landis-Stoy at shortstop. And then Keith Drumright, will be batting second, playing at second base. Terry Poole in center field, and Poole hitting third. With Jose Cruz in right field, Cruz batting cleanup. Enos Cabell at third base, Cabell batting fifth. Bob Watson back in the lineup, recovered from a recent injury. Watson at first base. Dave Bergman from Chicago's area. Kendall High School at Spain South out in Park Ridge. Bergman will be in left field. He's hitting seventh. And the rookie catcher that they just recently recalled, Bruce Bochy, B-O-C-H-Y. Bochy hitting eighth. And James Rodney Richards, the veteran right-hander on the hill. For the Cubs, Red Gross will be leading off. Gross in center field. Rodney Scott over at third base. Scott hitting second. Bill Buckner at first base. Buck hitting third. And Dave Kingman this afternoon in the cleanup position. Kingman in left field. Bobby Mercer batting fifth. Mercer in right. Manny Trio at second base. And Trio batting in the sixth spot with Dave Rader back in a starting role doing the catching. Rader batting seventh, and Ivan DeJesus at shortstop, and today Ivan is hitting eighth. Followed by Mike Krukow. Pitched well against this ball club, but lost to them down at the Dome by a score of 2-1. And he comes off a victory over the Cincinnati Reds last weekend when he went the distance and allowed only 4 hits and just 1 run as he got his 6th win of the year. Our broadcast is authorized under right credit by the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers for this event. It is solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of the game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. Moment for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
In WGN Radio Chicago, the time 1:30.
Jim Enright of Public Address System asks the folks to stand. Vance Fothergill at the organ plays our national anthem. second. Jim Quick will be at first base. Jerry Crawford at second, and Doug Harvey at third. And before Mike Krukow faces Landistor to lead off the ball game, let's take a moment for this message.
Phone office in Elgin.
Rafael Landistor going to be leading off. Shortstop is a left-handed hitter, and he is a switch hitter. As a left-hander, he's hitting .257. 25 hits. And 6 runs batted in for the year. Dave Kingman, Greg Gross, Bobby Mercer in the outfield, left, center, and right. Bill Buckner at first base, still doing some stretching exercises. Vanny Creo at second. Ivan De Jesus at short. Rodney Scott at third. Dave Rader the catcher. Wind up by Mike and the right-hander's first pitch. A ball too high, and the game is underway. Got a wind blowing out this afternoon. Favor the hitters. There's a fastball taken for a strike. Lillis coaching over at third. Tony Pacheco in the coach's box at first. Landistor bending low over the plate. Here's the pitch. Lifts up on it. That's strike called on him. Ball 1, strike 2. This is only the third meeting between the Cubs and the Astros here at Wrigley Field this year. The Cubs beat them 2 out of 2 the first time. Over the top of the slow curve, and he misses outside. Ball 2, strike 2. The outfield playing him to swing a little late. Kingman guarding the line and left, and Gross in left center. Fastball swung out of it for strike 3. The Landistor becomes the 49th strikeout victim of Krukow this year. I want to point out that in his complete game pitching performance against Cincinnati, he reached a career high when he struck out 8 of the Reds. Keith Drumright stepping in. They brought him up from Charleston, where he led the league in total hits, had a batting average of .308. Not a home run hitter, pretty good speed. Got him out of the Cub organization. He swings, hits a little pop fly. Coming in for it is Kingman. Dave is there, and he makes the catch at very shallow left field. Drumright out of there, and a little pop-up into left. That brings up Terry Poole, having a fine season, hitting .291. Drumright, left-handed hitter. Terry with 3 homers, 26 runs batted in. Just 23 years of age. Cubs start today in third place in the Houston Division. 5.5 behind Philadelphia, and a half game behind the Pittsburgh Pirates, who will be hosting Atlanta this evening. Krukow first pitch. Breaking ball to him a little bit low. Ball 1. Almost straight away is Gross in center. Gripping the bat at the knob. Here's the wind-up, a swing and a high fly ball. Gross coming over into right center. Now a couple steps in. He's there, makes the catch easily. And a good first inning. 3 up and 3 down. The Cubs come to bat against James Rodney Richards. No score.
Think of your True Value Hardware Store's paint department as a home improvement center. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you that True Test paints can help make a major improvement in the appearance of your home, indoors and out. True Test Easy Care Interior Latex Flat Enamel has a tough, scrubbable finish that will keep your walls looking as fresh as the day you painted them. And you could use Easy Care in white or 44 decorator colors. The True Test Weatherall Acrylic Latex House Paint from True Value Hardware Stores has a breather-type finish that expels damaging moisture to resist blistering and peeling. And it's available in 35 Jamestown colors plus white. Get True Test Weatherall and Easy Care. They've both earned the Good Housekeeping seal and are available exclusively at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers.
Obtained for from Houston prior to last year. Thomas is going to be leading off. Rick hitting .267, a homer, and 34 runs batted in. James Rodney went 7 2/3 innings against the Cubs down at Houston. Had a shutout going until suddenly went wild in the 8th inning, and they had to take him out. But he got the victory, allows 3 runs. Only 5 base hits, struck out 6, walked 4. 3 of those, as I recall, was in the 8th, or were in the 8th. Last Saturday, in his last outing, this big fella defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates and went all the way for a 3-2 win. Jeopardy's last loss against the Pirates at Pittsburgh. That was back on August the 17th. Earned run average 2.99. A flamethrower. They have timed in with their electronic gun at 97 miles per hour. That's when he really pumps one in. And that does not give a hitter much time to react. Comes into the first pitch and it's a ball a little bit low. He has a tendency to get wild, but he also gets a lot of strikeouts when he's hot. There's the fastball taken right down the middle. Ball one, strike one. Joe Malpatano coaching the third. Cookie Rojas, who has been activated. Coach's box at first. Here's a swing. He taps one past the mound. Tries to get the second baseman. Picks up, throws. He's got him. Nice play by 23-year-old Keith Drumright from Springfield, Missouri. Bring up Rodney Scott, and he'll be batting left-handed. Hitting .283 as a left-hander. Doesn't have any homers with the Cubs, and his total of 46 hits. Driven in 6 runs, 2 of them as a left-hander. Has 20 stolen bases. They're playing him to swing very, very late. Richards, fastball. The big guy pumps one in there for a strike. Right at the letters. Dave Bergman from Maine South and Park Ridge in left field playing shallow. Richards comes over the top of the breaking ball, and he is down too low. Very, very shallow. In left center is Terry Poole. Fastball, takes it high. Ball 2, strike 1. Newcomers up from the Cubs Farm Club at Wichita are here in uniform today. Whether or not they even get in to see action remains to be seen. Rodney back in the batter's box. Very, very deep. Here's the pitch. Takes it high. Ball 3, strike 1. Here's the windup. Fastball. And a strike call. Letter high away to make the count full at 3-2. Winning pitcher in his career with Houston, 75 victories, 54 losses. 3-2 pitch on its way. Swung on. Drive down the left field line. It is foul and out of play. Down in the Cub bullpen. With all the newcomers brought up, there is not enough room in the dugout for everybody. Wind up in a 3-2 delivery. Ball 4. Almost hit him in the foot with a fastball low and inside. So Rodney draws the base on ball. And that'll bring up Bill Buckner, batting .308. Fourth was Matlock and Jack Clark, both of the Giants in the National League batting derby. Dave Parker, Jeff Burroughs of Atlanta, hitting .314. And Reggie Smith of the Dodgers at .311 and threw to first, and he's back in time. Bob Watson, who recovered from his recent leg injury, playing at first base. Buck with a couple of homers, driven in 51 runs. Reggie from the stretch. Misses high. Ball 1. Buck stepped out, check signs with a Malpatano. Young second baseman Drumright shaded a bit up the middle. Very young Houston ball club for the most part. Runner goes on the hit run. He pulls one down the right field line. That's going to be it for extra bases. Here comes Rodney Scott, taking around third. He'll score easily. Buckner goes into second. That's leads 1-0. His 22nd double of the year and his 52nd run batted in. Didn't figure, Lou, that he'd get a pitch that he could pull like that.
He's been very, very adept at that hit and run. He's done it several times in Atlanta. So Buck has become a much better hit and run man than in the past.
He pulled it sharply. Now Dave Kingman stepping in. Drum right is still just a bit on the first base side of the infield, almost directly behind second. Here's the pitch. He takes. And it's a strike, and he was taking it all the way. Dave hitting .242, 23 homers, 66 runs batted in. Leads the ball club in those two categories. Long look at second, the pitch, fastball, and he takes it outside, 1-1. Bergman deep in left field. Terry Poole over in left center, fairly deep. They give him the right field line. All of it. Deep in the hole, the shortstop, Rafael Landeskog. 1-1 pitch. Takes it high and tight, ball 2, strike 1. You have your best chance against Richard when he's a little bit wild. He has walked 117 men, including Rodney Scott, in this ball game. Only 3 of them have been intentional walks. Worked 226 innings. And only given up 155 base hits. That's not very many for that number of innings worked. Struck out 244 men. When he's got the blazer going, look out. Long stretch, 2-1 pitch. Kingman straightens and he misses one right through the fastball. 2-2. Had a good rip at it. The crowd kind of roared. Had he nailed that one, it would have been long gone. Wind is blowing out at about 11, 12 miles per hour. Temperature in the low 80s. A little bit of haze in the air. Pretty good turnout. 1 away, 1-0 Cubs. And he turns and just throws to second base. But Buckner was back in plenty of time. It's sure one from the hip. Count of 2-2 on Kingman. Runner in scoring position, bottom of the first inning. 2-2 delivery. Buckner goes. Kingman goes to right field. That's going to go in there for extra bases. Drops one inside the line. Buckner will score easily. Cruz just picks it up. Kingman is out at second with a double. He went the opposite drive beautifully. Drives in his 67th run of the year. 2-0 Cubs. Cruz had to run a mile to get to that ball as it dropped about 10 feet inside the right field foul line, not very deep. And by the time he got to it, it was into foul territory. That for Dave is 12th double of the year. Bobby Mercer stepping in. See if they can keep it up. Hitting .276 with 7 homers, 53 runs batted in. Walk, 2 doubles, 2-0 lead. Richard fires. Fastball. He takes it inside. You could really hear that one pop into the middle boot of Bruce Bochy. Oh, playing about straight away in center field for Mercer. Richard's working slowly. Here comes. That's high. Ball 2. No strike. On the road, Houston has a very poor record. Only 19 wins and 44 defeats away from the air-conditioned dome. Pickoff attempt at second. Kingman back in time. Landeskog, the shortstop, getting in behind him. I got Landeskog from the Dodgers for Joe Ferguson this year, and they're also to get another player who's not yet been named. 2-0 delivery. Mercer takes. Strike call, the fastball to Bobby. Yankees keeping the pressure on the Boston Red Sox. They got their 7th straight win last night for Bob Lemon, and they're within 6.5 of the Red Sox in the American League Eastern Division. 2-1 delivery on its way. Swung out. Well, it's drive. Deep right field. bell-ringer. Bobby Mercer makes it 4-0 with his 8th home run of the year. But now Bobby coming around third as he punts one into the bleachers in right field. His 8th home run of the year brings Mel Wright, the pitching coach, out to the hill. Little jubilation down in that Cub dugout. Had a full cut at that one. James Rodney put one right over the heart of the plate. It was just starting to tail away about Bill Pies, and Bobby got all of it. That's only the 10th home run yielded by Richard this year. For those of you who wonder how many the Cubs have as a team, well, that's only their 57th. The Houston bullpen is going to get busy. An altogether different James Rodney Richard here at Wrigley Field today than the Cubs saw down at Houston. He got the first man, Greg Rose, then walked Scott. Buckner doubled. Kingman, a little bloop double, going with the pitch away, and Mercer, a solid home run. Trio stepping in, hitting just .258. He's been in a slump. First pitch. Fastball, it's too high. Manny with 3 homers and 42 runs batted in. 4-0 Cubs. Here's the pitch. That's too high. The 3rd home run that Mercer has hit at home this year. 3 out of 8. 2-0 pitch. Swung on, a high fly ball. Wind carrying it deep into left center. It's got a chance. It is a home run. A bell-ringer for Trio into the bleachers at left center to make it 5-0. Looking a little stunned out there. All 4 of Trio's homers now have come here at home. A couple in May, had one in August, and he starts out the month of September in fine fashion. Here's Dave Rader. Let's see if he can get one. Richard's first pitch, low, ball 1. Nothing lead. There's one he lifts up on. He's extremely high with that one. Missed very low with the first one. Way upstairs with that one. And Enos Cabell, the tall third baseman, coming over to the mound to try to calm him down. Dave hitting only .200 for the year with a couple of homers, won a grand slam job, 30 runs batted in, 50 hits for the season. 2-0 delivery coming up to him. Left-hander swing. That's a high fly ball, but Bull has room. He goes into left center, and he makes the catch just on the edge of the warning track in front of the 368-foot mark. So Ivan De Jesus, batting 8th, steps in with 2 gone in the bottom of the first inning. Walk, a couple of doubles, and back-to-back homers by Mercer and Trio. Jesus batting .263. 3 homers, 27 runs batted in. James Rodney winds. Here it is. Fastball and strike right at the letters. Delivery. Checks. He swing at a breaking ball into the dirt. 1-1. Pirates host Atlanta in a twilight doubleheader. and the Philadelphia Phillies in the first of a 4-game series at San Francisco tonight. 1-1 pitch. Comes over the top with Evan, and he's low. Ball 2, strike 1. Runs, 5 hits, bottom of the first inning. 2 homers, 2 doubles. 2-1 pitch. Checks his swing. It's low. Ball 3, strike 1. They held up in time. Eighth man in the batting order in this inning is the Jesus. Swings and a drive into center field. Full comes on, and he makes the catch right at the ankles to retire the side. 5 runs, 4 hits, and a walk, 2 homers, 2 doubles, nobody left on. The crowd loves it. Cubs take the field. Houston comes to bat with the Cubs leading 5-0.
Heileman's Old Style, the legendary beer from God's country, is a beer brewed with sparkling, pure Wisconsin spring water in a traditional old-world way of pure brewing, double brewing, called poisoning. Poisoning is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Most expensive because it takes more time. Heileman's Old Style is one American premium beer that's fully poisoned, naturally carbonated. Poisoning is what makes Old Style a great light beer. Try Old Style and taste the difference poisoning makes. Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
You, Lou, I'm a little state of shock here of what's going on.
I think Richard is, too. He doesn't know what's going on out there until he looks at that scoreboard and sees 5 runs for the Cubs. It's nice to have the opposition try to play catch-up baseball in this game.
So Mike Grupo doesn't let it go to his head. That stunned him right off the bat. That good fastball going against the Cubs down in the dome, he was getting ahead of the hitters. When you start getting behind, you take a little bit off of it. That's when you're in trouble. He came into this game having allowed only 9 home runs in 226 innings. Now he's allowed 11. Jose Cruz leads off, swings, hits one deep center field. Look out! Gross out there, leaps against the lines, cannot make the catch. Cruz on his way to third. He'll be in there. And he almost put one out of the AstroTurf that covers the bleacher seats and dead straightaway center. The wind blowing out. A leadoff triple for the 300 hitting Jose Cruz. That's his 7th triple of the year. And here's Enos Cabell hitting .289, 6 homers. Cabell has batted in 59 runs. They'll concede that run. 5-0, top of the second. Right from the windup, here's the pitch, Cabell. Checks his swing, and a breaking ball missing a little low and away. Should have a crowd somewhere today, around 17,000, 18,000. There's a swing and a foul. It's back up under the screen to level the count. Ball 1, strike 1 on Cabell. He has 157 hits this year. Leads the Houston Ball Club in that department. Struck out 70 times. Goes after a change. A high fly ball coming in toward his Mercer. Runner at third is Cruz tagging. Here is Mercer's throw to the plate, and Cruz scores. Standing. 5-1. Credit Cabell with his 60th run batted in on a sacrifice fly. away for Bobby Watson, the veteran who's been out with a leg injury recently. And of course, they just lost Art Howe with a broken finger last weekend. Or a few days ago, rather. He'll be out for about 3 weeks. And Cedeno was injured in a play against the Cubs on our first trip down to Houston this year. And he's out for the year. A knee injury on a slide. Watson batting .296. Right-hander takes. There's a strike to even the count at 1-1. He has 13 homers. 74 runs batted in. Delivers. Watson takes a strike. 1-2 on him. Right at the knees. Houston here again tomorrow. And Rick Russell is scheduled to go against young Mark Lemongello. Fastball swung out of his fluid by him right at the letters. Strikeout number 2 for Krukow. Gives him 50 for the year. And here comes the young man from Maine South, David Berkman, playing in left field. Left-handed hitter. Hitting .248 with 11 runs batted in, 39 base hits. That's 5 doubles and triples. Bases empty, 2 gone. Top of the second, Mike. First pitch to him, a sharp breaking curve, but it just missed ball 1. Dingman deep for this left-hander, and so is Mercer, and goes straight away deep. There's a swing and a fastball fouled out of play. 3 losses that the Cubs suffered down at Atlanta cut down the crowd a little bit today. 1-1 pitch. A little high. Ball 2, strike 1. Monday, of course, we'll have a doubleheader against Montreal on Labor Day. 2-1 pitch. Bergman takes it high and away, 3-1. That'll mark the 85th anniversary of our nation's celebration of Labor Day Monday. WGN Radio salutes all the countless men and women whose continual efforts and achievements. As they fall outside, Bergman draws a walk to bring up Bochy. And everyday work have enabled this great country to continue to progress throughout our nation's unique history. We hope it'll be a wonderful holiday for all of you. A lot of you will be able to come out here to Wrigley Field to enjoy it. Bochy, young right-handed hitting catcher, 20 hits since they brought him up, .253 average. 1 homer, 8 runs batted in. Right-hander swings, cracks his bat, and took a little pop-up in the shallow right. Mercer on the dead run, can't get to it. Grabs it on the first hop. And Houston has runners at first and second on a cracked Texas leaguer. Cracked bat, that is. James Rodney Richards will be the batter before he steps in. Let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN, Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago, the time 2 o'clock.
Lloyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Wrigley Field. First game in the homestand. Single one tomorrow, doubleheader Sunday with Houston, doubleheader Monday with Montreal, single game Tuesday with the Astros, and then the Philadelphia Phillies here on Wednesday and Thursday of next week to close out the homestand. And don't forget, some 18,000 seats go on sale every morning at Wrigley Field before the ballgame. Richard with 13 hits, 6 runs batted in. Swings, he goes to right field, a base hit. Mercer comes over to cut it off. That makes the score 5-2 Cubs. As Bergman, who had walked, scores easily. James Rodney has just batted in his 7th run of the year. Now we face the top of the batting order with runners at first and second. Inning open with Jose Cruz tripling off the wall in center. Came in on Cabell's sacrifice fly. Watson struck out, but he walked Dave Bergman. And now has given up singles to Bochy and to Richards. Rafael Landeskog struck out to open up the ball game. The left-handed hitter steps in, takes the curve, and it's low. And Dave Roberts goes to work in the Cub bullpen. Cubs in the first inning. Had a walk, a double. Bobby Mercer's two-run homer. Manny Trio's solo shot right after. A strike call. Ball one, strike one. Former Dodger Landestoy, Landesstoy. Switch hitter. A 5-2 ball game. Fastball swung out, ground ball, base hit. Past Scott, here comes a run around third, and there'll be no play. Bruce Bochy tallies, and the Astros right back in the ball game. And Landesstoy hit one the opposite side between Scott and the line at third. His 7th run batted in since they brought him up. What was a 5-0 ball game is now 5-3. And young Keith Drumright, minor league deal between the Cubs and the Astros, sent this young man into their organization for infielder Javier, who's not among those that the Cubs have brought up. And Herman Frank, distressed understandably, is making a slow walk out to the mound to talk to Kruko. Given a 5-run lead, and he's given back 3 of them here in the second inning. And Herman does not look at all pleased. Drumright led that International League, playing at Charleston this year in total base hits, and wound up hitting .308 there. Plate umpire Andy Olson out there trying to get Herman to make a move, and by golly, he's going to do it. I wonder if there's something wrong with Kruko now, Lou.
That I don't know.
And had a long talk with him, and he's lifting him here in the second inning. He put him down in order in the first to strike out. A couple of fly balls to the outfield, and here he is leaving in the second. After he was given a 5-run lead. He was the only Cub that did not get a chance to bat in the first inning. And Mike disappearing into the dugout, and he is hot. Angrily snatches up his windbreaker. And he's heading for the clubhouse down in the left field corner. So while Dave Roberts gets in his warm-up tosses and we have a delay, let's take time off for this message. Think of your true value. Well, he comes off. Kruko comes off that great performance last Sunday at the Reds. We went all the way and allowed only 1 run. And he had not pitched badly against Houston down there, although he had to suffer a loss, gave up a couple of runs. And he drove in a run himself. The only run the Cubs scored that night as they lost 2-1. This is his earliest KO by far this year. Roberts facing Keith Drumright, the left-handed hitting rookie second baseman. And the first pitch to him is a ball. Runners at first and second. The tying runs are on 2-way. Checks his swing, but not in time at a sharp breaking curve. Dave has had plenty of rest. He worked at Cincinnati last Saturday, inning in the third, and got a victory. That was in the long rain delayed game. 1-1 pitch. Serve was a little low. Ball 2, strike 1. He allowed 2 runs in that ball game. The Cubs came on to win it after the rain delay, 8-6. That's a high earned run average. 2-1 pitch. Swung on. Missed. 2-2. Started a game earlier this this year against Houston, got a victory when he went 6 innings against them. 2-2 pitch. Just missed outside, and Roberts not very happy with that call by Andy Olson. He thought he had Drumright struck out to end the inning. Instead, the count goes to 3-2, and with 2 out. Tying runs at first and second, and those guys will be going with this delivery. Here's a stretch by Dave. The runners go, and he loses the ball 4 in the dirt. So the bases are loaded in the second inning in a 5-3 ball game. Hard game to figure out. James Rodney Richards is out at third. Landis is at second base. Keith Drumright on at first. And Terry Poole, a fine hitter, center fielder, left-hander, stepping in. First pitch to him. Breaking ball. He takes it, and it misses, blown away. Ball 1. They call it a ball. Maybe I'm wrong. Strike on a check swing. Johnny Moore throwing in the bullpen. 0-1 pitch. Reaches out after it, taps a little foul over to Cruz in the on-deck circle. It was Cruz who started the second inning rally with a triple off the vines in center field. It was a great deal of joy just a little while ago when the Cubs put 5 runs on the board in the bottom of the first inning. 0-2 pitch. Gampney with it, fouls it back up out of play. Strike 2 count on Terry Poole. 23-year-old outfielder. Ended the first inning, flying out to center field. Things were going along smoothly. Mike had put him down 1-2-3. 0-2 pitch. Way inside of the knees. Ball 1, strike 2. If Roberts doesn't get Poole, he'll be gone. Tying runs are in scoring position, each team with 4 base hits. So Dave into the stretch, 1-2 delivery. Ball into the dirt. Ball 2, strike 2. Could be one of those long afternoons. 2-2 delivery. Another breaking ball. He lays off, and it's blown away. So he has run the count to 3-2 after being ahead 0-2. And the bases are loaded with 2 away. So everybody will be running on this one. And look out. Go from the stretch. 3-2 pitch. He lost him, ball 4. That forces in the 4th Houston run of the inning. And the bases are still loaded. So Dave comes on, faces 2 left-handers in relief, and walks them both. James Rodney Richards stalking into the dugout. He has singled, batted in a run in this inning. Richards has. Now he has scored a run. And he and the Astros are right back in it. Johnny Moore continues to throw in the bullpen. Going to see if Roberts can dispose of this left-hander. Jose Cruz, their cleanup hitter. He has not been sharp with his breaking ball. Comes one in, and Jose looks, and it's a strike. The crowd cheers. You think they're not nervous? Here's a strike to the pitch. There's a curve. He started to go after it and went too far. Andy Olson says that's a strike. So he's out in front of this man. But he was also out in front of Poole, 0-2, and lost him. Dave studies the side of Rader. Now he's into the stretch, 0-2 pitch. Just missed with it around the knees. Got out in front of Poole, got out in front of Cruz, then on 1 and 2, Cruz. Singles right past Dave, right near the bag at second, out of the range of Trio, and of course the Jesus, who was shading him over towards second. Landis-Soy scoring his charge against Truco. Drumright, who scores the go-ahead run, is charged against Dave Roberts, who did not enjoy his appearance in this inning, and the Cubs return home. While Donnie Moore sees if he can put out the fire and prepares to warm up. Let's take time out for this message. Second inning, a triple and a single, 2 runs batted in and a run scored. He's out at first. Gary Poole on at third, and Enos Cabell, who drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in this inning, stepped in for the second time. Johnny Moore, 8 and 6 for the year, 3.84 earned run average. There's a swing and a high fly ball, and by golly, it ought to retire the side. Gross coming in as Edwards with the glasses on. He's got it. What do you know? That's all they get. 6 runs, 5 hits. 2 men left on. Well, pitcher is due to lead off as the Cubs come to bat in the bottom of the second. Houston 6 and the Cubs 5. Out here to get everything tallied up before the day is over if this continues. Johnny Moore, the third Cub pitcher of the afternoon, will lead off the second inning. For 11 as a hitter, 364 batter with 3 runs batted in. One of the strong points of the Cubs through the season has been their pitching. Not all of a sudden today. 5 5-run lead wasted. Moore goes after the first pitch while he throws righty. Downey swings left-handed, and he fouls that one out of play. James Rodney, who was almost out of the ball, gets their fastball fouled out of play. In the second inning, when the Cubs sent 8 men to the plate, now finds himself working with a 1-run lead. With a new life. Comes in with that one a little high. Ball 1, strike 2. Big left-hander delivers a foul ball on that one. Back up under the net. Tough game to figure. Whether something went wrong physically with Trucco, we have no way of knowing, and there's been no indication of it in any announcement made. Young Bruce Bochy gives his sign. Wind up in the 1-2 pitch. Looked out. Dowdy almost got hit in the foot. He tried to put a little extra on that one. Ball 2, strike 2. For those fans around here and love a lot of runs and a lot of action, looks like this is their day. It's ladies' day. A lot of the gals out here today. There's a swing and a miss, and Downey strikes out. That for James Rodney, number 245. Total strikeouts this year. Greg Gross opened up the first inning, bouncing out to second base. Then a walk to Rodney Scott. Buckner doubled down the right field corner, bringing him in on the hit and run. Kingman, with 2 strikes on him, went to right field. There's a fastball high. Dumped a little Texas leaguer inside the right field line for a double. And brought in Buckner. Then Mercer drilled a homer into the bleachers. And that was followed by Manny Trio's home run into the left field bleachers. Left center. Things were looking up. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, a drive into left field. Base hit for Gross. We've seen with 5 base hits now. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Houston with a 6-5 lead. Rodney Scott, who walked and scored in the first, steps in. Still hitting .280 for the year. White Sox will be at Baltimore for a twilighter this evening. Full schedule in the majors. Kick to pitch. He takes a strike, a fastball. In his shortest appearance in a starting role for the Cubs. Perfect in the first inning. Hardly that in the second. Rodney jumped after a pitch around the letters and fouls it back out of play. Triple, a sacrifice fly. Then he struck out the next man. The bases were empty with 2 away. Then a walk. A single, a single, a single. He left Roberts, a pair of walks, a single. Donnie Moore finally got the 3rd out of the inning. The other night at Atlanta, when the Cubs played so poorly in the final game of that series, all 6 Atlanta runs were scored after the first 2 men were retired. Rodney goes after that pitch, fouls it out of play, back on the line of the plate from first. Here they did score 1 before 2 men were retired. Before the Cubs could get that last out, Trucco was gone, Roberts was gone, and 5 Houston runs followed that first one. And Rodney Scott in the hole with a 0-2 count on him. James Rodney almost blown out of the ball game in the first inning. Big right-hander delivers. Rodney checks his swing. And a ball, breaking ball to him, down and away. Ball 1, strike 2. Throws to first base. Gross back in safely. California played up in Toronto already today, and the Angels got a victory over the Blue Jays 6-4. James Richards comes over the top with that one, and he is too low. Ball 2, strike 2. And Mel Wright gets up, points down to the bullpen. Watch the right-handers start throwing. Wheels the throw to first base. Runner back safely. Going to get a left-hander and a right-hander throwing now. Boyd Bannister and Tom Dixon. All right, Rodney, how about a base hit? 2-2 delivery. Take strike 3. 2 gone. Buckner stepping in with Gross at first base. Buck doubled, drove in his 52nd run of the year in the first inning, and scored a run. From 5-0 Cubs, it's gone to 6-5 Houston in the second. He takes the first pitch, a breaking ball. It's low. Ball 1. Victory leaves the Angels only a game and a half behind Kansas City at this moment in the Western Division. Buck is going to take that one all the way, and big right-hander is high with it. Ball 2. KC will be hosting Detroit tonight. No easy picking. Two away. 2-0 pitch. He'll take. And it's a strike call. Ball 2, strike 1. For the Detroit Ball Club, it's 15 games over 500. But they're in 4th place and 11 games out. Kicks the pitch. Takes the ball way low and inside. Comes out in front of the plate. Second base umpire, Gary Crawford, inspects the ball. Keeps it in play. Gross checking, but player coach Cookie Rojas at first base. 3-1. Let's see if they might have something going. 2 away. 3-1 delivery. Doesn't go. Swung on. Drive right field. Hit well. Through back. High off the vine. Back to base. Brill's coming around third. Here's Terry Foole's throw. Bouncing into the plate. He scores. The ball game is tied. 6-6, and Buckner is on at second. Just missed putting one into the basket. Cruz went back right there where the big double doors are. And the ball hit on the vines over those doors and somehow missed going into the basket. Young catcher Bruce Bochy trying to get that ball coming into the bounce, couldn't quite handle it, but Gross tallies. And here's Dave Kingman, who went to right field for a double and drove in his 67th run of the year in the first inning. A wild one, to say the least. Richards, first pitch, he takes it high. Brings to mind that wild 16-15 ball game last year with Cincinnati.
Well, let's hope we don't have one of those. Unless we've got the 16.
We better. Game's only about an hour long. Fastball swung on, he hits it foul. Down the left field line. But, of course, we're already in the second inning. That's for Buckner, his second double of the day, and his 23rd of the year. Kingman cracked his bat on that inside delivery. A lot of mommies and a lot of kids out here today. This is their time. kind of a ball game. Lots of hits, runs. 11 hits so far. A dozen runs have been scored. The runs are spread evenly. Rickey, long look at Buckner. Kicks, right-hander's pitch, high. Ball 2, strike 1. Wind is blowing out. In the first inning, Mercer walloped his 8th homer of the year, a 2-run shot. Trio got his 4th of the year. 2-1 pitch with 2 away. Tried to throw a curve, it didn't break at all. Very, very high, ball 3, strike 1. James Rodney, you can just read his lips, says, "Ah, shucks." Or something. They have Drumlight, the second baseman, the rookie, directly behind the bag at second. Can hold Buckner close that way. Richards delivers. There's a strike, a breaking ball this time. Ball 3, strike 2. With 2 away, Dave Kingman, the hitter. He uses that bat with the indentation in the big end of it. Let's see if he can get a hold of one. 3-2 pitch. Stop the foul ball. Third base side. Let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago. It's 2:29.
Here with you at Wrigley Field. Come on, Dave. Lead run, Buckner at second base. James Rodney checks him. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Good cut on a fastball. Got under it, fouled it back out of play. Yankees in their win over Baltimore last night now have won 7 straight. Baltimore had a winning streak going, but it was snapped the other night. The Yankees got 6.5 behind Boston. Milwaukee 8.5 out. Detroit, Baltimore following. 3-2 pitch. Goes after it. Fouls it back again. That one was right up in his eyes. The 2 tight races are in the western divisions of both leagues. The Dodgers 2 games in front of the Giants. Cincinnati, after getting 11 runs, 3 homers last night at St. Louis, crushing the Cards 11-6, are 7 games out, 5 behind San Francisco. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed for strike 3, and the side is retired, and Kingman angrily throws the bat away. In the second inning, James Rodney strikes out the side in between a single by Gross and Buckner's second double of the day. The tying run scored. The lead run is left stranded. And at the end of 2 innings of play, Houston comes to bat, and this game is tied at 6. Dealer today. Well, let's see if we'll settle down and have a baseball game. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau. Lou, come on in.
Well, Donnie Moore now has a tied-up ball game, 6-6. Here's Watson at bat. First pitch by the right-hander. Curveball, pop foul. Out of play. Strike one. Houston sending 11 men to the plate in the second inning, scoring their 6th run after the Cubs jumped to a 5-0 lead. Swing and a miss on a good fastball. 2 strikes on Watson. He'll be followed by Bergman and then Bochy, the catcher. Outside, ball 1, strike 2. Moore has a sign from Rader. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a good sinker. Watson strikes out. Now here's Bergman at bat. Walked in that big 6-run second inning. Johnny Moore, third Cub pitcher. Krukow started. Went 1 2/3 innings. So then Roberts came in to relief. Now Moore. First pitch is low inside, ball 1. Nobody on base. The pitch. Swing and a ground ball to second baseman. Manny Trio has it. Sidearms it to Buckner, and 2 men are out here very quickly in the 3rd inning. Now here's Bochy, the catcher. Moore has retired the 3 men that he has faced since coming in relief of Roberts. This right-handed hitter, Bochy, straight away. First pitch is a swing and a miss. Moore now doing something that Krukow and Roberts has failed to do, is get out in front of these Astros. Pitching from behind really can hurt a pitcher. There's a curveball for a strike. 2 strikes on Bochy. Moore into the windup. 0-2 pitch. Fastball, strike 3 call. Moore shuts down Houston 1-2-3 in the 3rd inning, striking out 2 Astros. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. Cubs coming to bat, 3rd inning. Cubs 6, Houston 6.
You've changed, Bernard. You're not the man I married.
What do you mean, Francie?
Remember the way you were, vulnerable. You made mistakes. But now, look, you're confident. Everything you do turns out right. It's that book you sent away for.
It's just a catalog from the Consumer Information Center. It lists more than 200 federal publications you can send for. Like building, fixing, eating.
Buying, selling, working, playing, living.
And more than half of them are free. Yes, Francine, the man you married is gone. For good.
All right, Bernard. It would be one more mistake for old time's sake.
All right. For you, I'll just replace that window glass, like I used to. Whatever you do, learn to do it better. Send for your free catalog. Just write Consumer Catalog, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009. Francine, send for that publication on first aid.
What was that address?
Pueblo, Colorado, 81009.
Bobby Mercer will lead off the 3rd inning for the Cubs, followed by Trio and then Rader. Mercer got his 8th home run of the year in the 1st inning with Kingman on board. J. Rodney Richards still on the mound, and he's pitched a 9-inning ball game already. So let's see if the Cubs can continue to peck away. Looks a lot different today than he did in the Astrodome against the Cubs when he went 7 2/3 innings and was quite wild in that 8th inning. But under the lights and daytime is quite a difference. Mercer levels the bat over the plate. Here's the first pitch by Richards. Fastball swing, a ground ball past Cookie Rojas. Coach at first. Into the Houston bullpen, strike 1. 6-6 ball game. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Richard is ready. The pitch. Curveball high. more like a slider than a curveball. And when Richards has that curveball in that strike zone, he can be very, very tough. There's another curveball, pop foul, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bobby Mercer. Left fielder Bergman is far off of the left field line for Bobby. Poole, the center fielder, straight away. And the right fielder Cruz playing in a natural position in right, guarding that line also. There's a swing and a miss on a let-up by Richards, and Mercer strikes out. He was far out in front of that let-up. That's the first let-up Richards has thrown. 4 strikeouts. Now, for the Houston right-hander, and here's Manny Trio, who also hit a solo blast in the first inning. It was his 4th. Trio, with 2 days rest, pitched hit against Atlanta, but that was all. First pitch, ball 1, outside and low. Big right-hander Rodney Richard into the windup. The pitch, fastball, strike called by Olson, the plate umpire. 1 in, 1 to count, 1 out, nobody on base. Trio takes low, ball 2. Philadelphia at San Francisco tonight, Cincinnati at St. Louis, Montreal at San Diego, New York at Los Angeles, and Atlanta in a twilight night affair at Pittsburgh. 2-1 pitch, Trio swings and misses through a Richards fastball, and it's 2-2. The American League finds the White Sox at Baltimore for a twilight night game, and then Texas will be up at Milwaukee tonight. 2-2 pitch on its way. Fastball swing, a ground ball to shortstop. Shortstop has it, and Landestroy throws to Watson for the out. 2 outs now in the 3rd inning, and here's Rader, who flied out to Poole, first time at bat. Rader levels the bat over the plate. Richards ready into the windup. The pitch. Takes the bunt. Takes the pitch low. Ball 1. As Cabell is playing very deep for Rader, and he was going to try to bring that third baseman in a little bit. 1 ball pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball, strike 1. Oakland is at Boston tonight to complete that American League schedule. Detroit at Kansas City. Seattle at New York. California defeated Toronto this afternoon. Here's a swing and a foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cleveland will be up at Minnesota. One ball, 2 strikes on Dave Rader. 2 out. Nobody on base here in the 3rd inning. Cubs 6, Houston 6. The pitch. Fastball, pop foul out of the net. Back of the plate. DeJesus due up next. Ivan hitting in the 8th spot today. Now Rader levels the bat over the plate. The pitch by Richard. Swing another pop foul out of the net. So the count remains 1-2. Cubs with 6 runs, 6 hits. Houston, 6 runs on 5 hits. Richard is ready. The 1-2 pitch to Rader. Swinging a fly ball deep to right field. It has a chance. Way back. Going. Gives it goodbye. A home run by Rader. Dave Rader hits his 3rd home run. And the 3rd home run today off of Richards, who only gave up 9 prior to coming into this game. So that puts the Cubs out in front by 1. 7-6 in favor of the Cubs. Now Bill Burton wants to have a walk out to the mound to have a chat with his pitcher. It looked to me like Rader just picked that curveball up around the ankles and hit it against the screen on the catwalk in right field. So, with Buckner with 2 doubles, Kingman with 1 double, and Mercer, Trio, and Rader with home runs. So, 6 out of the 7 hits off of this right-hander has been for extra bases. Now he's going to face the Jesus after that little lecture from his skipper, Bill Burton. Cubs have jumped back into the lead, 7-6. 2 outs here. And the Jesus will be the hitter. So now it's going to be up to Johnny Moore and the Cubs bullpen to hold this lead. The Jesus lined out to Poole in the first inning, closing out that inning when the Cubs sent 8 men to the plate, scoring their 5 runs. But that lead didn't last long. First pitch, high, ball 1 to Yvonne. Houston coming back to score 6 in the second. Cubs tied it up with 1 in the bottom of the second. Now have gone out in front 7-6 in the bottom of the third inning. High, ball 2. As we mentioned earlier, Richard has thrown a lot of pitches. And he's seen a lot of base hits around Wrigley Field. Over the walls and against the wall. There's 1 high. Ball 3, no strike. The Jesus and Moore due up next. Now Bannister sits down and Dixon, a right-hander, starts warming up. High, ball 4. 4 pitches, the Jesus walk. That's the second walk issued by Rodney Richards. Now here's Johnny Moore, struck out against Richards in the second inning. Dixon, a right-hander, heating up again in the Houston bullpen. Now Bannister is going to join him. First pitch on its way to Moore. He takes a strike, knee high over the outside corner. Cubs have battled back to take the lead, 7-6. Third inning. The Jesus with a good lead at first base. Richards looks at him over his left shoulder. There he goes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul onto the net. And the Jesus had that base stolen very easily. All against the pitcher. Before the pitch was released to the hitter, the Jesus was halfway between first and second. But Moore went after it and fouled it back out of play. 2 strikes on Johnny. The Jesus once again takes his lead at first. Not as large as it was on the prior pitch. Richards keeping an eye on him now. Gets his sign. Now time is called. As Bochy probably wanted to throw a pitch out, and Richards didn't remember what a pitch out sign was. Two strikes. Richards very seldom will pitch out. Now he goes into the stretch. Throws to first. The Jesus dives back safely. Moore levels the bat over the plate. Richards goes into the stretch. Checks the Jesus. Here's the pitch. Curveball, tap foul against the screen, and the count remains 2 strikes. Cubs with 3 home runs in this ball game and 3 doubles off Rodney Richards. Lead 7-6. Now the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. He struck out Moore for the second time, and it closes out the third inning, but not before the Cubs score one run on Rader's third home run of the season. One man left on base. At the end of 3, Cubs 7, Houston 6.
Hello, General Finance. Friendly Bob Adams speaking.
Claire Potter calling, Bob.
Claire?
The people who bought the home in Sunny Valley.
Oh, yes.
Bob, remember how you said you were the valley gets a lot of rain? The valley's getting a lot of rain, Bob. In fact, today, interestingly enough, marks 40 days and 40 nights. Hey, will you guys hold it down? Oh, I'm sorry, Bob, but these carpenters are right on top of me.
What are they doing, building an ark?
Well, my husband thought it would be smart, so he's panicking. So we're having a heavy rainy season, but it'll pass, right?
Well, sure, yeah.
Oh, will you stop? I don't think we have enough money to pay you. That's the other thing. We have to have a loan to finish the thing.
Oh, yes.
You know, an emergency loan or whatever.
Sounds like a transportation loan.
Can you help us out, Bob?
You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
70 General Finance Chicago area offices to borrow up to $10,000. Call Landover 32020. They also have an office in Fox Lake.
Rodney Richards going to remain in the ballgame. He's going to lead off the 4th inning. Johnny Moore now on the mound. Richards singled down the right field line, swinging late on one of Kruko's pitches in the 2nd inning to keep that inning alive, driving Kruko from the mound. Then Roberts came in and walked 2 men and allowed a hit to Cruz. And he was removed for Johnny Moore. Moore has retired the first 4 Astros that he has faced. Now here's Richard at bat. Mercer moves over closer to the foul line now in right field, thinking that Rodney will swing late on Moore's fastball. All set to go. Here's the windup and first pitch by Johnny Moore. Fastball for a strike called over the outside corner. Scott at third. The Jesus at short. Trio at second. Buckner at first. Strike 1 pitch. Swing and a line drive. Center field. Boy, let me tell you, nobody ever hit one any harder than J. Rodney Richard. He just lined that ball over Moore's head in the center field for a base hit. His second hit of the game. And it's the first hit off Moore. A total of 6 now for Houston. Here's the leadoff hitter, Landeskog, who has 1 for 2. Buckner holding the runner out at first. There's the toss over to first base by Moore. But Richard was only a step away, and he can take those long steps with those long legs of his. First pitch, swinging a ground ball into left field, base hit. Landeskog, seeing Scott moving in on the infield grass, aimed the ball that way and did it perfectly. So now here in the 4th inning, Houston has the first 2 men on for Drumright. Drumright tried out to left field and walked. Richards, of course, stopped at second base. Drumright, left-handed hitter. Buckner expecting the bunt. He's in on the infield grass. Here's the stretch. Here's the pitch. He's going to swing and fouls it back onto the screen. Drumright, given the green light to swing, also aiming the ball past Scott at third base. Scott not on the infield grass. Here's the pitch. He's going to bunt. Takes the pitch high to throw to second. They have Richards between second and third. No throw to third base, and Richards advances to third. Rader had Richards caught off second, but he had such a tremendous lead that as soon as the ball was thrown to Jesus, he just ran on to third for a stolen base without a throw. Now the count of 1-1 on Drumright. That's Richards' first stolen base of the year. He's been thrown out once. Go to first, the tag. He's called safe by umpire Quick. And it was a very fast tag by Buckner. Another throw, no tag on that one. Now Lynn McLaughlin starts warming up for the Cubs. Houston with runners on first and third. Cubs lead by 1 run. Here's a throw to first, and he's safe again. Buckner making a quick tag, but just a fraction of a second late. Moore has the sign. He's into the stretch. The pitch. Low outside, ball 2, strike 1. To Keith Drumright. Landis Toy at first base. J. Rodney Richard at third. Cubs infield double play. Throw to first, no tag. The ball was thrown on the home plate side of first base. Now Moore is set. The pitch. Swinging a base hit into right field. Dropping in front of Mercer. There goes Landis Toy to third base. This game is all tied up on 3 successive singles here off Moore in the 4th inning. And that could be Drumright's first RBI or Major League RBI of the season. Play. Throw to first. No tag. The ball was thrown on the home plate side of first base. Now Moore is set. The pitch. Swinging a base hit into right field. Dropping in front of Mercer. There goes Landis Toy to third base. This game is all tied up on 3 successive singles here off Moore in the 4th inning. And that could be Drumright's first RBI or Major League RBI of the season. And it's his first Major League hit. So, it is now a 7-7 ball game. Houston with runners on first and third, and here's Poole at bat. Moore has a sign from Rader. The stretch checks the runners. Here's the pitch. Swing and a tap to Trio. Tough play. Has only one play at first. The run scores, and Drumright goes to second base. So Buell gets an RBI, his second of this game, by grounding out to Trio, and Landis Toy scores the lead run for Houston. It's now 8-7 in favor of Houston. And here's Cruz at bat, who has 2 for 2. First pitch is ball inside. Drumright at second base. It was a high chopping ground ball at Trio. He only could do one thing. That's exactly what he did. Get the hitter. The pitch to Cruz. Swing the line drive bomb over the cover. Cruz tripled in the second inning, singled in the second inning. Now here's the 1-ball, 1-strike pitch. Low. Ball 2, strike 1. Drumright at second base. Cubs playing a normal position. Outfielders are deep for Cruz. 2 runs in. The ball 2, strike 1 pitch. There's a good pitch over the outside corner for strike 2 call. Ball 2, strike 2, 1 out. Moore is set. The pitch on its way now to Cruz. And Cruz swings. It's a one-hopper to Trio. Off of his shoulder. Bounces in the air. Runners can only advance one base. That's Drumright at second. He will go to third. That ball took a high hop after hitting in front of Trio. Hit him on the right shoulder and bounced away from him. And it's a base hit for Cruz. His third hit of the day. The third hit off Moore, or the fourth hit off Moore in this inning. Now the right-handed hitter, Cabell at bat. Houston with runners on first and third, one out. The first pitch, swing and a line drive, base hit to left center. One run will score. There goes Cruz to second base. Man, oh man, you would think that this ball club was hitting as a team 280. They're only hitting 256 until today. Cabell gets his first hit, his second RBI. Houston with 3 runs in here in the fourth inning now lead 9-7. 5 hits off Moore, all 5 coming in this inning. Herman Franks going to the mound, and that's all for Moore. Herman Franks going to the mound, and that's all for Moore. Lynn McLaughlin, the fourth Cub pitcher, trotting to the mound. So while Lynn takes his warm-up tosses, let's pause for this message. McLaughlin will face Watson with Houston runners on first and third. 3 runs in. They have taken a 9-7 lead, 1 out. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago. It's 1 minute until 3.
Watson thus far has struck out twice. Now he's facing Lynn McLaughlin. Lynn takes his stretch. Here's the first pitch. Curveball. He fouls it back to the screen. McLaughlin got by with a high curveball to Watson on that pitch. Cruz is on third. Cabell is on first. Go to first. The tag, too late. He gets back safely. Cabell with 28 stolen bases. Cruz with 28. So there's speed on the base paths. Another throw to first. And dives back. The Cubs need is their 120th double play of the season. Throw to first. Another dive back, and he gets back safely. Watson out of the batter's box now. He's the 7th man to bat here in the 4th inning. Houston sent 11 men to the plate in the second when they scored 6 tally. Now McLaughlin is ready, has his sign. The pitch, another curveball for a strike. That one was about knee-high. 0-2 on Watson. Cruz with his lead off third base. Cabell is off first. McLaughlin, the 4th Cup pitcher of the day thus far, throws to first, and Cabell gets back safely. 1 out. Houston 9, Cubs 7. McLaughlin gets a sign from Rader. Still leans in to get another sign. Now he shakes his head yes. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Curveball, swing, ground ball to left. Scott has it. Goes to 3-0 for 1. Go to first, a double play. So McLaughlin comes in, and on a fine move by Scott, who moved quickly to his left to glove the ball and throw a perfect strike to Trio, enabled the Cubs to close out the 4th inning with their 120th double play of the season. But in the 4th, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 man left on base. Cubs come to bat, trailing Houston 9-7.
Your True Value hard.
Rodney Richard, weathering the storm, is still out on that mound. He's given up 7 runs, 7 hits, 3 home runs, 3 doubles. But he's had the attack, and he's helped the attack with his bat, getting 2 hits, and he started off the 3-run inning, the 4th, the top of this inning, to give himself and Houston a 9-7 lead. So now the Cubs will have to fight back again. Gross, the leadoff hitter, steps in the batter's box. Gross has 1 for 2. Richard into the windup, and here's the first pitch. High, ball 1. Both teams have played a doubleheader already today in the opening of this homestand. Gross levels the bat over the plate. The pitch on its way. There's one inside. Ball 2. Houston playing Gross to swing late. Here's the pitch. There's one right down the middle. Strike call. It's 2-1 on Gross. He'll be followed by Scott and then Buckner. Richards gets his sign from Bochy. 2-1 pitch. Gross swings, hits a ground ball to first baseman. Watson makes a very fine play as that ball comes up very quickly on his left side. But he makes the play, fields the ball, and touches first for the out. Now with 1 out, here's Rodney Scott. Scott walked in the first inning, scored on Buckner's double down the right field line on the hit and run, and was called out on strikes in the second inning. 1 out, nobody on base. Outfield is shortened up against Rodney. Rodney Richard on the mound. Rodney Scott batting. First pitch, low inside, goes back to the screen. Ball 1. One out. 4th inning. The 1-ball pitch on its way. There's a strike right down the middle. Houston 9, Cubs 7. It's been one of those days. The hit, a pitch, and he hits that ball off of his foot as it gets past Richard. But that one really stings as Scott is walking around very briskly onto the grass. Now he passes up Buckner coming back to the on-deck circle. The count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tony Garofalo now comes out of the dugout to see what he can do. The only thing he can do is give a little sympathy and tell him it doesn't hurt. That Tony can't feel it. There's not much you can do when you hit that ball off of that bat onto your shins, and there's not much protection down there. And for little Rodney Scott, who can motor, doesn't have large muscles down into the calves of his leg or in the ankles. Now he gets back in the batter's box with a count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Buckner due up next. The 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Low, ball 2, and it's 2-2. Rodney still flexing his knees, trying to get some blood back into that right foot. 2-2 pitch on its way. High, ball 3. All he has to do is get on first, then steal second and third. That'll put back the circulation. 3-2, and the pitch is on its way from Richard. Taps his bat, and it was high. Didn't want to swing at the ball, but it was high. Tapped the bat, and now the count remains 3-2. Bochy gives out the sign. Scott is ready, so is Richard. Here's the pitch. Swing and a tap high over the pitcher's head. There goes Scott to first, and there's no throw. Scott was merely at first base when Richard caught the ball. Had that been hit on AstroTurf, it would have been a mile high. As it was, it hit in front of the plate on the dirt part, and it bounced about 20 feet high, and Scott's on first with his first base hit of the day. And here's Bill Buckner, who has 2 doubles to his credit. And once again, Houston bullpen getting busy. The left-hander, Bannister, the right-hander, Dixon. Scott talking to Cookie Rojas. Now he gets back on first base. Buckner into the batter's box. Scott has 20 stolen bases. He has a tremendous lead at first base. Richard is ready. He's into the stretch. Throws to first. The dive back by Scott gets there safely. Richard, with his tall frame and tall legs, long legs, does not get rid of that ball very quickly to the plate. Consequently, good base runners, good base stealers, with average speed or better than average speed, can attempt the steal of second. Here's the stretch. Here's the pitch. High, ball 1 to Buckner. And you can be sure that Burton will not go very far with J. Rodney Richards. He's given up 7 runs on 8 hits. He's walked 2 in the 3 1/3 innings that he's pitched. There goes Scott, swinging a foul on the hit and run, and Scott has to return to first base. It was successful in the first inning when Scott walked, and on the hit and run, Buckner doubled down the right field line to score Scotty from first base. This time, Buckner had the pitch, but fouled it back to the screen. 1-1 to count with 1 out. Scott with a lead at first base. Richard looks after him over his left shoulder, throws to first, and he's safe. Scotty was leading that time, and had Richard's throw been a little lower, Watson might have cut Scott before he returned to first. But he's on first. He beat that tag by diving back safely. 1-1 pitch. There he goes. He comes back. There's one hit deep to right field. Cruz is going back. He has room. He's on the warning track. Scott tags up at first. Here's the throw to second. Scott is there. Scott, seeing Cruz backing up on the warning track in right field, and as he turned his back against the wall, getting under that ball, Scott smartly went back to first base, tagged up on the catch, and is now at second base. 2 out, and Dave Kingman, the hitter. Kingman doubled down the right field line with 2 strikes on him in the first inning, scoring Buckner. Then he scored ahead of Mercer when Mercer hit his 8th home run of the season. Then Kingman struck out in the second inning with Buckner at second base. Now Scott is at second base. 2 out. Houston leads 9-7. The pitch to Kingman, curveball high, ball 1. Kingman represents the tying run. Bannister, a left-hander. Dixon, a right-hander. on the mound. In the bullpen. They're on the mound, but in the bullpen warming up. Scott with a short lead at second base. As Drumright, second baseman's playing directly behind second base. 1 ball, no strikes to Kingman as he gets set in that batter's box. The stretch by the right-hander. Here's the pitch. And Kingman takes high, ball 2. That was a breaking pitch. That was high. It becomes a guessing game now between Kingman and Richard. Kingman knows that Richard wants to get that curveball outside. He has to be set for his fastball. Here's the ball 2, no strike pitch. Fastball high inside, ball 3. And I believe Kingman will be given the green light on this one. Mercer due up next. If Kingman is given a green light, he'll be looking for one pitch, the fastball. 3-0. Scott at second. Richard into the stretch. Here's the 3-0 pitch now to Kingman. It is a fastball, and he swings, lines that ball into left field for a base hit. Scott rounds third. He will score. He was looking for that fastball and got it. Was out in front of it, and he singles to left field, scoring Scott. That's Kingman's second RBI of the day, his 68th of the season. That's going to be all for J. Rodney Richard. The Cubs have pulled within 1. It's 9-8. We mentioned in Atlanta, Kingman is one of the best triple shooters in baseball. If he gets you 2-0, 3-0, or 3-1, then you give him his pitch. Look out. Now here comes the southpaw, Bannister in to pitch to Mercer. So let's pause for this message.
Heileman's Old Style, the legendary beer from God's country, is a beer brewed with sparkling, pure Wisconsin. Heileman Brewing Company across Wisconsin.
The bleachers sitting in the first row, right center field, just towards the center field side of the 368-foot mark. Quite a delegation, including Mayor Belandic. I believe his wife Heather is there. See the mayor wearing a sun visor and a long sleeve white shirt. And a lady a couple of seats over from him had a short or sleeveless yellow dress. I believe it's Heather Belandic. And Ernie Banks is sitting out there with the mayor. Maybe Mercer will give him a home run out there.
If he does, I hope the mayor catches it because he's on his way to Rome tomorrow to visit the Vatican. Here's a pitch by Bannister, swing and a miss by Mercer, and he was trying to do just that. It went out of here. Time is called as Bochy wants to go out and talk to Bannister. He might have coughed him up on the first pitch here. Bannister has won 3 and lost 8. This is his 25th game. He has an earned run average of 4.63. He's pitched 101 and 1/3 innings. Mercer is batting with Houston leading 9-8. Kingman is on first, 2 out. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. The stretch, the pitch. Fastball low. 1-1 to count. Watson holding Kingman on at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Curveball low outside. Ball 2. Manny Trio due up next. I'll say one thing for Burton. He tried to push J. Rodney Richard into 5 innings to try to either get the win or the defeat, but he just couldn't last. The curveball, he swings and misses on a ball far away from him that broke very sharply outside. Now the count is 2-2. Mercer with a 2-run home run in the first inning and struck out in the third against J. Rodney Richards. Bannister, young southpaw, has his sign. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Mercer. Another curveball, and that one hit the corner. He's called out on strike. That closed out the fourth inning with 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left on base. And at the end of 4, Houston has 9 runs on 10 hits. The Cubs have 8 runs on 9 hits.
Coming to bat against Len McLaughlin, the 4th Cub pitcher of the day. It'll be Dave Bergman, graduate of Maine South High, who is due to lead off against him, playing in left field today. Then the catcher, Bruce Bochy, and then the pitcher. And I see the mayor is apparently going to be making his exit, getting a few handshakes as he's being escorted out of the ballpark. He's been sitting out in the front row of the bleachers. I remember when he was up here earlier this year. He said that he really enjoys sitting in the bleachers more than anywhere else because of the length that the first 4 innings take it here. He just is not able to stick around for any more action. There's been action aplenty. 9-8 score. Len delivers the first pitch, a breaking ball, and Bergman takes it for a strike. The ball a little bit low. That makes it ball 1, strike 1. Dave walked and scored in the second inning. That's a strike call and a good fastball. Ball 1, strike 2. Grounded out in the third against Donnie Moore. Mike Krukow started at his shortest stint of the year in a starting role, only an inning and 2/3 after he was perfect in the first inning. After giving up 4 hits, was charged with 5 runs, didn't walk anybody. Dave Roberts came on in relief, gave up a pair of walks and a 2-run single. So he did not afford any relief today. And Donnie Moore came in and finally got the 3rd out of the inning. There's a swing. He slashes a foul out of play down the left field line. Ball 1, strike 2. Must be some kind of a holiday today in Canada for the Toronto Blue Jays to have played so early, and California defeating them 6-4 to pull within a game and a half of Kansas City. Lynn delivers, and he's low with that one. Ball 2, strike 2. Assuming they don't have to pitch today, Rick Russell and Mark Lemongello are scheduled to be the starters here tomorrow. 2-2 delivery. Swung on, he drives that fastball foul out of play down the left field line. Said before the game today, he's still not sure who his 2 pitchers will be for the doubleheader Sunday. So let him swung on, he taps a little foul over the first base side. Possible that Kenny Holtzman, who pitched 2 strong innings at Atlanta and looked pretty good in his other stint on that road trip at Texas Ball Club, might get a start. Wind up in the 2-2 delivery. Breaking ball, just missed outside, broke down, but did not come in. Ball 3, strike 2. They did not score in the first inning, nor did they score in the third. Fastball swung on, ground ball to Acers to his left. He's got it. What's the throw? He is safe at first base. Ivan kept the ball from going into the outfield and made a super drive, but Bergman manages to leg it out. Ivan wound up behind second base as that ball was hit right off the end of the bat of Bergman. Lead-off single in the 5th inning. That brings up Bruce Bochy, who singled and scored in the 2nd. Looked at strike 3 in the 3rd. That's only their 11th hit today. He goes after the first one, and a strike on him. Bochy, right-hander. Just 23 years of age. B-O-C-H-E. Or B-O-C-H-Y, I'm sorry. His single in the 2nd, his 21st hit since they brought him up. Goes after a let-up and a beauty. and missed on it. 0-2. After the fine series the Cubs played against Cincinnati, there's a ball a little bit high, breaking ball, 1-2. The Cubs managed to win a couple down at Atlanta instead of being swept in that series. It probably would have had about 25 or 30,000 here today. As it is, I would guess about 16, 17,000. The ball 2, strike 2. Bergman does not have anything better than average speed. Buckner holding him on at first base. Gross pretty deep in center with that wind blowing out today. McLaughlin ready. 2-2 pitch. Swung on. Pulls the ground ball left side. Scott has it. Goes to Trio for one. Whips the throw to first in time. Trio was able to throw with good velocity, off balance as he did that time, and from about knee high. Doesn't have to come over the top. Has a great wrist throw. And the Cubs have come up with their second double play of the afternoon. So the bases are empty. Lloyd Bannister, left-handed hitter, stepping in. 5 for 28 as a hitter. Fouls the first pitch, back out of play. If you're going to be out here for the doubleheader on Monday, there's a fastball. He takes it. The second game will mark the Cubs' 15,000th game in the National League. Delivery. Swung on, a high foul out of play. He didn't have much snap to the bat on that one. And if you're going to be here, all of you, header Monday, will receive a certificate certifying to your attendance at the game, marking the 15,000th game of the Cubs. Assuming, of course, we don't have a rain out. Club itself will receive a plaque from the National League commemorating it. There's a swing and a miss on a high fastball, so Bannister, the pitcher, fans. And in the fifth inning, no runs. They hit a double play, so there's nobody left on. Now the Cubs coming to bat. In the bottom of the fifth inning, Manny Trio is to lead off with the score, Houston 9, the Cubs 8.
I'm going back.
Back home to your mother?
No, to McDonald's to get my free Big Mac.
Oh, yeah? Join the Big Mac Keeps You Coming Back Club, and when you buy food... I goofed. I don't want you to be disappointed and come out Monday for that 15,000th game. It's going to be Sunday. The second game of the Sunday doubleheader against Houston will be the 15,000th Cup game in the National League. Sunday, not Monday. I'm sorry about that. Well, let's take a moment here for station identification before Manny Trio steps in against Bannister. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
And this is WGN Radio Chicago, coming up to 29 minutes after 3 o'clock.
Vince Lloyd here with you. Manny, who's been in a slump, came out of it with a home run in the first inning and then grounded out in the third. One for two today. Let's see what he can do against Bannister. He's facing the southpaw for the first time today. Here's the windup. Fastball. He takes it inside. Bannister was out of action, sidelined with an injury for a while this year. 9-8 Houston. Cubs had a 5-0 lead at the first inning. A let-up swung on. Drives it down the left field line. Base hit. Trio pulling it for his single. His second hit of the day. So he represents the tying run of the ball game. And Dave Rader, who got his third home run of the year in the third, will be the hitter. Lefty against lefty. Let's see how the Cubs are going to play it. De Jesus in the on-deck circle. And the pitcher due up. We may get a pinch batter for McLaughlin because Willie Hernandez is starting to throw in the Cub bullpen. Got a lot of extra men with the fellows who've been brought up from the minors, including two pitchers, Manny Cioni and Dave Geisel. Here's the pitch. He's going to bunt. And and he fouls it off the end of the bat on the third base side. Trio had an excellent jump on that one. 21 base hits here today. Houston with 10 singles, a triple. The Cubs with 3 home runs and 2 doubles. 5 extra base hits out of their 10. But they are trailing 9-8. Nobody out. Bannister steps and throws to first base to Watson. Trio had a very short lead. Had no trouble getting back. Young left-hander gets his sign. Looks at first, comes to the plate, pulls the bat back, and it's a strike of fastball right at the letters. Had the bat out there to bunt, and he thought it was going to be too high. Now Rader is in the hole, 0-2. Herman put him in there today, figuring that he was way below what he should be hitting with that 200 mark, and figuring he could get in that lineup and supply a little punch. With a drive deep to center field and then homers. 0-2 pitch. Goes he flat at the outside delivery. Soft fly ball is going to be caught by Bergman, the left fielder. He's under it. Trio gets back to first, and Rader is unable to advance that runner to second base. That's the kind of a thing that has been happening all too frequently. Down to Jesus. Ended the Cubs' 5-run outburst in the first inning when he flied out to center field, walked in the third. So Ivan hitless in his last 14 official trips to the plate. Let's see if he can get a base hit. Almost a pitch out. Fastball up and away. Nothing was going on. They may have something going here. Malpatano has flashed Ivan. New set of signs. Trio, he is not a base stealer. Bannister checks him. Doesn't go. Curveball to him, and he flaps a little foul. It's back out of play. Oh, there's a good battle for the batting championship in the National League. Dave Parker, the Pirates, Jeff Burroughs of Atlanta, hitting .314 each. And Reggie Smith of the Dodgers, only 3 points behind him. And Bill Buckner, Bill Matlock, Jack Clark, all coming in today, hitting .308. 305. Whitfield of the Giants, 303. Brewers of Houston and Rose of Cincinnati hitting .300 starting the afternoon. Takes that one high, ball 2, strike 1. Rose has more hits than any of the others. He's with 164 base hits. The guy that's really having a super year, Jim Rice of the Red Sox. 2-1 pitch. The fastball is high and away, 3-1. Rice is only 9 points behind Rod Carew in the American League batting derby. He's hitting .325 and has 179 base hits, 36 homers. 3-1 pitch. Butter doesn't go. Takes a strike. Fastball inside corner. It's 3-2. And Rice has already driven in 136 runs. What a year. 3-2 delivery. Trio goes. He swings. Curls a little foul down the right, fly ball down the right field line. It's in there for a base hit. And Ivan goes to second. Trio coming around as the ball got away from Cruz and threw too late. This ball game is tied. And immediately there'll be action in the Houston bullpen. Hit a little looper just inside the right field line. Cruz overran it. I thought they were going to charge Cruz with an error as the ball bounced off his wrist down behind him. I guess they're giving him a double all the way. So the ball game is tied. And the Cubs, in a 9-9 affair, will have Gene Klein pinch hitting to see if he can bring in the go-ahead run. So Ivan comes out of his slump with an opposite field Texas leaguer. Ending an 0 for 14 straight. getting his 28th run batted into the year. Gene as a pinch hitter, 8 for 33 with 2 runs batted in. So he's hitting about a little bit under 250 as a pinch batter. 264 for the season with 13 runs batted in. One away. Bannister's pitch. Takes, and it misses outside for ball 1. Cubs batting in the bottom of the 5th inning. We're tied at 9. Southpaw ready. Here's the pitch. Gets his swing. It's a strike call. Ball 1, strike 1. Team with only 11 hits. But there's a lot of time left. We're only in the 5th inning. 1-1 delivery. Swung on. He goes after that inside breaking ball. Pulls it foul into the Cub dugout. So far today, Herman has used 4 pitchers. And we'll have the 5th one. Looks like Willie Hernandez, who continues to keep loose in the bullpen. Houston comes to bat in the 6th inning. Young Bochy is going out to talk to Bannister. Very young batter here. Let me remind you again now, the 15,000th game is going to be the second game of the doubleheader on Sunday. And if you're out here, you will get a certificate commemorating that event. Sunday. Not on Monday. 1-2 pitch. Good swing by Dean. He fouls that inside fastball back out of play. Count stays at 1-2. School resuming for an awful lot of kids. Means only the weekends will be available for a lot of them. 1-2 delivery. Takes another swing and slaps that foul back out of play. You know, Dad, a Cub ball game is always an exciting event for a youngster. Big thrill, of course, for the kids to see their favorite ball players in person. Maybe even hit a ball into the stands, out in the bleachers, or into the seats over on the first or third base side. But best of all, I think, is the fact that it's an opportunity for you and your children to get together at a ball game. You have that opportunity, a single game. Sunday, a doubleheader. Monday, a doubleheader. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, single games. 1-2 pitch. Let up, swung on, hits it down to third. Cabell checks to Jesus, fires across over to first base. 2 gone. Good lit up again by Bannister. Cabell, a very much underrated ball player. Good glove, good speed. Good bat. You know, youngsters 13 and under out here at Wrigley Field pay only $1.50 for general admission. With a left-hander still on the hill, Jerry White is going to bat for Greg Gross. And undoubtedly, he'll stay into play center field. Got a base hit down at Atlanta the other night in a pinch-hitting role in the 9th inning and had a dot hit for an outstanding play by their rookie second baseman, Glenn Hubbard. On Bill Buckner's ground ball in that 9th inning, the ball game would have been tied. But he got the play. Just a super defensive move. That scrappy little kid, he got Buckner by an eyelash, robbed him of a base hit, and White, who was on his way to score the tying run, of course, just kept right on going into the dugout because that ended the ball game. So Jerry digging in. Of course, this year for him with the Cubs has been marred by injury, including his debut with the Cubs at Philadelphia. Got a shoulder separation. The first night he joined the ball club. He takes that one high, ball 1. But he's an outstanding center fielder.
Cubs. Altogether, he's hitting .242 with 22 base hits, 2 of them doubles, 5 runs batted in. Bannister checks to Jesus, delivers. Jerry takes a strike, a fastball. Inside corner, just below the belt. The count goes to 1-1. The score, Houston 9, the Cubs 9. The Cubs have scored in every inning, including 5 in the first. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball just missed away. Ball 2, strike 1. Single runs in the second, third, fourth, and fifth inning. There's a go-ahead run to Jesus at second with 2 gone here in the bottom of the fifth. Young Bannister gets his sign. Kicks. Here's the left-hander's pitch. A swing and a miss on a good fastball. 2-2. 22 base hits so far. And 18 runs. Other than that, there hasn't been much excitement for the fans. 2-2 delivery. Fastball. Swung out and missed. He got him. Came right over the top. Blew one by. So in the fifth inning, the Cubs have to settle for 1 run on 2 hits. And Jesus, who doubled and drove in the run, is left stranded. So at the end of 5, the Astros come to bat against Willie Hernandez. The game is tied at 9. Right now is the time to test drive a 78 Cutlass. Why? Because right now, with over 4,000 available in Chicagoland, you can choose the color and options you want with immediate delivery at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer. When you test drive the 78 Cutlass, you'll discover how the new trimmer size makes for smooth riding, easier handling. Inside, feel the comfort and enjoy the space because there's more headroom and legroom than ever. So fans, visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today. Test drive the 78 Cutlass. You'll discover what a pleasure it is. That's up pretty high. He's only worked 48 innings. Carrying in his 44th ball game. Uncorked 3 wild pitches and hit 1 batter. Bill Berg here with us. Looks like you won't have to do a show today, Bill.
I won't mind that too much if we win the ball game. If we lose the ball game, I don't know if I want to do one at all with the calls I'll get. So,
tell you, we better not lose it.
Isn't this a wild? This is as wild a game as I think I've seen this year.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier. They mentioned on the air. It kind of reminded me the way it was going when we get 5 in the first, they get 6 in the second.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of that game with Cincinnati last year, which wound up 16-50.
Yeah, 15, right.
I'll never forget Rick Russell coming in with a winning run with hands raised triumphantly in the air, fists clenched, and little Davey Rosello had gotten the winning hit. Cardinal playing in the infield. Bobby Mercer played a little bit in the infield. It was a wild one. Hernandez delivers. The left-hander's first pitch is a strike called. Rafael Landeskog, who came over to this club from the Dodgers. A deal for Joe Ferguson. Did not like it. Here's the windup. Fastball. He butts it. Beauty. Hustling off the mound. Barrett pick up by Hernandez. The throw. And he is called safe at first base. Beautiful bunt. And a lot of backspin on it. Hernandez did the only thing he could. He rushed to it. Bare hand pickup. Made a perfect throw. Ball wound up even with the mound on the third base side. hits at their 12th of the day. Bunt single. Here's the rookie second baseman. Keith dumps Grum right, and he takes that one outside. Scott playing up close at third. Figures that he'll sacrifice a left-handed hitter. Got his first major league hit in the fourth inning. Scored his first major league run in the... He swings on this one at a fly ball. Going back for it is Terry White. He's there. Makes the catch. Whirls, gets a throw in towards first. But he gets back in safely. Boy, he made a fine play, though. He was playing pretty shallow, and he gets a great jump on the ball. Has excellent speed. And he didn't waste any time at all whirling around and making the throw towards first, hoping for a double play. Landeskog has good speed. He went sliding back in before the ball could bounce to Buster. So they don't let him sacrifice. Man still on at first base. Another left-hander, Terry Poole, steps in. Drove in a run with a ground out in the fourth to make it 8-7 at that time. It's now 9-9. Poole takes and Hernandez throws one into the dirt. Runner holds at first base.
Think it's about time for the Phillies to start losing?
Boy, we were talking about it earlier today. They've done a superb job on that West Coast trip. That's got to be their best trip. They really have in a couple of years. And it looked like they were going to go down the drain when they lost the first two games out of Los Angeles. Pitching staff tonight for the Phillies is to be Steve Carlton. Maybe on the road back. He's 12-11 against Jim Barr. The right-hander is 7-10 with the Giants. Hernandez has gotten in the hole on Terry Poole as a good hitter. 2-0 delivery. Good swing, gets under it, fouls it back out of play. We have young Manny Cione in the a right-hander. Up from Wichita. Cubs got him for Cardinal from the Phillies. They're pitching down at Wichita this year. He was 12-9 at Wichita. Started 27 ball games. Worked in relief just once. Some scouts that I was talking to today saw Cione 4 or 5 times. Their scouts for other ball clubs said that they saw him initially. He looked awfully good, but they thought he was beginning to tire a little bit his last couple of outings. Hernandez steps and throws to first base. Landeskog is very, very quick. Got back safely. A 9-9 ball game. Cubs took a 5-0 lead after one, and Mike Turbo just lost it. Inexplicably, that second inning did not finish it. Worked an inning and 2/3. And Dave Roberts couldn't get him out. Walked 2, gave up a 2-run single when he faced 3 left-handers in succession. And finally, Donnie Moore came on and they got the side up in that second inning. And they took a 6-5 lead and sent 10 men to the plate. 2-1 pitch, the runner goes. Here's Rader's throw to second. The trio safe. The head first fly. Big throw for Rader. A little bit to the first base side. Trio made the catch about letter high. Couldn't quite get the glove down quickly enough as Landeskog is awfully quick. Showed that when he beat out the bunt single. Beats the throw in there. Had it been right over the bag, Victor might have had him. So he has himself a stolen base. That's the lead run in scoring position with one away and a count of 2-2 on the hitter. Pop him up, Willie, or struck him out. Here's the pitch. Sidearm curve. He lays off and it missed outside. Runs the count to 3-2. Rafael Landeskog. Now 3-2 in stolen bases. They brought him up. 3-2 pitch. He's outside. Ball 4. Oh, I'll tell you.
Vince, isn't it true that part of the mystique of this game is the total unpredictability? Now, here Cub pitching has been superb, even in that losing spell on the road. Today, you can't figure out what's wrong with them. They're scoring runs in clusters, but you wonder if anybody's going to be able to do the job on the mound to get the victory.
Here's a case where he goes against Landeskog. Now, he did a good job beating as a right-handed hitter, beating out a bunt. Then he gets the next man on a fly ball to center, but now he loses a left-hander, Terry Poole, on a 3-2 pitch, and he faces Cruz, the more dangerous hitter. He swings and fouls it back out of play. And you go back to Dave Roberts, who couldn't get any of the left-handers out that he faced. Yeah. Walked two and gave up a 2-run single. Well, it is, and I've stated it a couple times on the road trip. Baseball, to me, is the most unpredictable of all team sports, and especially at this level. The look at second to pitch. Swung out, a high fly ball. It's going to be popped up to Manny Trio. He's under it on the outfield grass. Thought it might carry out a little farther, but it didn't. Had him way out in front of that one. Now let's see whether or not Willie can handle the right-hander, Enos Cabell. He singled in a run, drove in another with a sacrifice fly. Officially, Cabell is 1 for 2 today. So he's hitting just a shade over 290. It is still a 9-9 ball game. By the way, tomorrow, from 12 to 12:30, DeJesus and pitcher Kenny Holtzman will be signing autographs in the autograph booth behind third base on the main concourse. 12 to 12:30 tomorrow, DeJesus and Kenny Holtzman. All right, Willie, see if he can handle this guy. Runners at first and second, 2-way. Over the top with a fastball, taken for a strike. Good pitch. Have scored in every inning, but had a 5-0 lead after 1. Now it's 9-9. The pitch swung out of it. Change speeds on him beautifully. That pitch wound up about at the ankles of Cabell. Down and in on this tall, lean right-handed hitter. They've used him at a couple of spots in the infield, and he's done well wherever Bill Burton has put him. A fine hitter. 0-2 pitch. Swung out at a high. Pop up in the shallow right. Mercer coming in. Trio going out. Somebody holler. Manny Trio makes an over-the-shoulder catch right in front of Mercer to retire the side. No runs. 1 hit. 2 men left on. The Cubs come to bat in the 6th inning. It is still 9-9.
At Winkleman's, all coats are 20% off. All pants are 20% off. All sweaters, 20% off. Dresses, you guessed it, all 20% off. All bags and knee socks are 20% off. Now, during Winkleman's 20% off sale. Only through Monday, Labor Day. You'll get 20% off on new fall and winter fashion. 20% off previously reduced merchandise, too. And Winkleman's will be open every day, including Monday, Labor Day. Winkleman's 20% off sale, but only through Monday. Winkleman's celebrating 50 fashionable years.
Baseball is reaching its peak, and pro and college football is about to begin. Your friends at Dominic's are ready to make those weekend sports fests relaxing and enjoyable as possible with taste-tempting foods from the Old World Deli. Feast on light sandwiches of Dominic's own Italian-style sliced roast beef and its own free gravy. Just $1.59 a half pound. Hey, remember, there's nothing like the tangy flavor of Atalanta imported sliced ham. Now only $1.59 for a half pound. This weekend, score big points with family and friends with tasty food from Dominic's, Chicagoland's most complete food stores. Sam Brody had just called our studios from DeKalb, Illinois. Great Cubs fan, Mr. Brody wanted to know if there's a record on whether or not the Cubs have played a 9-inning game and scored in every one of the 9. We're going to ask the Cubs official team photographer, Mr. Barney Sterling, to see if he can look it up and give us the right answer. So, Mr. Brody, hang on. We'll try to find out for you. has happened so far. In case you're just joining us, the ball game is tied. But the Cubs now have 3 extra outs coming to them. And the Houstons, maybe they can take advantage of that. Rodney Scott will be leading off, and he'll hit right-handed. Just a reminder, we're going to have a doubleheader with Montreal on Monday, Labor Day. We had a rainout with Montreal back in April. That's why we'll have the doubleheader Monday. It will not show on your regular schedule. It will be that holiday, a grand opportunity for you to enjoy 2 games for the price of 1 out here at comfortable and carefree Wrigley Field. Perfect way to spend a Labor Day afternoon. Don't have to worry about any picnic lunches or anything. You can enjoy the refreshments right here at the ballpark. Mom doesn't have to worry about preparing anything or cleaning up afterwards. Rodney Scott had a notion to bunt, but he pulled the bat back as he jumped out in front of the plate on a ball that was in too close to him for ball 1. Matter of fact, you can see 4 games for the price of 2 here at Wrigley Field in 2 days. Doubleheader Sunday, doubleheader Monday. 1-0 pitch. Takes the fastball inside of the knees. 2-0. Rodney has walked, singled, looked at strike 3. He's 1 for 2 today and has scored 2 runs. Bannister has worked an inning and a third in relief, delivers. He takes it a little high. Fastball, 3-0. I would imagine that Scott will be taking this one. Here's the windup, 3-0 delivery. He does take, and it's a fastball right down the plate. Ball 3, strike 1. Vince Lloyd here with you at Wrigley Field. Cubs had a 5-0 lead. Then trailed 6-5, then tied it, then had a lead. He looks, ball 4. In too close at the letters. That's a good start. A base on balls to one of the speediest guys in the ball club. Rodney Scott, probably the fastest. Bill Buckner doubled in the first, doubled in the second, flied out to right field in the 4th. Buck has batted in 2 runs today and scored 1. Started the day hitting .308, so he's got to be right about at the .310 mark. And now he's 4th in the league in hitting. Go to first. Hey, look out now, Rodney. Made a head-first dive just in time. Bannister, left-hander, pretty good move. If you come out Sunday, you'll be given a certificate commemorating the fact that you attended the 15,000th game the Cubs have played in the National League. 15,000. Nice certificate to have. We'll have to check the won and loss record by that time, too. Oh, look at first. Here's the pitch. Buck takes the bunt. Brought the third baseman, Cabell, up. The pitch with the ball. High and away. Ball 1. Rodney with 20 stolen bases out of 27 attempts. Cubs have scored in each one of the first 5 innings, and it's tied 9-9. Bottom of the 6th. Good lead by Rodney. Leaning back towards first as Buckner throws his bat at that pitch. Fouled it back out of play, and Bannister had to skip rope as the bat went flying out of Buckner's hand right over the pitcher's mound. Ball 1, strike 1. Let's take a moment here as Buck retrieves the bat. Checks sign to him, Malpicano, for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
And this is WGN Radio in Chicago, coming up to 4 o'clock.
Bannister, on the last move, had Scott leaning back towards first base. He has a very wide stance on the bases. Almost doesn't split. Bannister checked him. Kicks, delivers. Fastball is high. Oh, scoreboard says 1-2. Andy Olson apparently holds it a strike. He's a little bit closer to it than I am. Buckner looking for his third hit of the day. Here's the stretch, the kick to pitch. Swung out, drive deep right field. That ball is tagged. Way back. Ball ringer. Helps down the lead. Buckner rounding first base into the home front with his third home run of the day. And his third and fourth runs batted in. The Cubs lead 11-9. Wrigley Field. Cubs came into the ball game with 56 homers. As a team, they now have 60. Bannister was out in front of him, but Buckner was out in front of the next pitch. Here's Dave Kingman. Wants his young catcher to give him a new set aside. 2 doubles and a homer. First pitch, Kingman takes the breaking ball into close. Tom Dixon, a right-hander, starts throwing again in their bullpen. Buck putting on a one-man show here today. Each team with 12 base hits. The Cubs continue to score in every inning. There's a swing and a miss. Went right over that one. Buckner's first home run of the year came at Pittsburgh against Bruce Keeson and won a ball game. Kingman swings, gets under, lobs a high foul. The catcher Bucci coming back. He will not have a play. Then Buck hit a homer here at Wrigley Field, his second of the year, on the 19th of August against the Reds. Gave the Cubs the lead in the third inning. But that's the ball game in which we were so sad because the Reds came back to tie it in the ninth and win it in the 10th inning, 9-7. But then the next day was followed by the heroics of the Cubs. With 2 out and nobody out of the 9th inning, the Cubs were trailing, but you know what happened. Bittner is single, Trio is single, a walk to DeJesus and Dave Rader, a double off the wall in right field. All of that action after 2 were out and the Cubs won it. Well, that's Buckner's third homer of the year. 1-2 the count on Kingman. They've got the shift on for him now with nobody on base. The windup at Bannister is next, but swung out a high fly ball to the center fielder, Poole, who has the glasses down. He's got it. 1 away in the 6th. Mercer will be the batter. I'm still calling him Bannister out there, and it's the left-hander Sampedo who came on here in the 6th. Not Bannister. And he winds. Here's the pitch. Mercer takes, and that one caught in the strike zone just at the knees. Against Bannister, the southpaw in the 4th inning, Bobby was called out on strikes. Let's see what he can do against this guy. Sampedo came on in relief down at Houston. There's a swing and a foul ball right off the catcher's glove. Good curveball. Dixon continues to throw for him. Wild ball game, 11-9, Cubs in the 6th. He's headed to get the sign. Wines delivers. Sidearm fastball. Swing on. Rips it over the first base bag. Down into right field territory. Caroms off the wall. Mercer goes into second base, and he's there with a stand-up double. Cubs today with 13 base hits. 4 homers. That's their third double. And he blistered that one over the bag at first. Bobby with a homer, now a double. In between, a couple of strikeouts. 18th two-base hit of the year. And Manny Trio got out of his slump with a home run in the first inning following Mercer's 2-run shot. Then he grounded out, and then in the 5th inning, he singled. Will walk, the home run by Buckner. Kingman flied out, and now Mercer is doubled. He swings and fouls that one off the Bochy. Strike one count. Jesus ended a 0 for 14 string with a double back in the 5th inning and brought in Trio with it. Base hit could bring Mercer in. A 2-run lead, not very much in this ballpark with the wind blowing out the way it is. Pretty good lead by Mercer at second. Checked by the left-hander. Fastball swung out. A high fly ball. But Terry Poole goes back. He's got plenty of room. And he reaches up and hauls it in. Mercer goes to third after the catch. And he arrives safely. Did not have to slide. But there's 2 gone. Dave Rader in the 3rd inning homered off James Rodney Richards. That made it 7-6 at the time. Cubs were out in front. Oh, this is really a wild one. Up the pitch. Fastball. And he takes a strike right at the letters. They get 8 of their runs off Richard, 1 off Bannister, 2 so far in this inning. Off Vito. There's a swing and a high fly ball. Wynn carrying it out. Cruz back to the vines. He comes in a step and makes the catch. Didn't quite carry out far enough. Walk, followed by Buckner's 3rd home run of the year, and his 3rd hit of the day. 2 runs. Mercer's double, 2nd hit of the inning. He's left stranded. Cubs continue to score in every inning, and at the end of 6, it's the Chicago Cubs 11, Houston 9.
Hello, General Finance. Friendly Bob Adams speaking.
Say, Bob, what's the catch?
What catch is this?
Oh, come on, Bob. You can level with me.
I don't.
Ivan De Jesus at shortstop having a little conversation with Manny Trio over in the corners of the infield. Buckner over at first, just had to leap for a throw from the other side at Rodney Scott. Dave Rader doing the catching. Willie Hernandez starting his 2nd inning of relief with Dave Kingman, Gary White in center, Bobby Mercer in right. Bruce Sutter now beginning to throw the Cub bullpen down the left field line. And he, like so many of his teammates, with a very full growth of beard. Hernandez's first pitch to Watson, swung on a fastball, and he popped it up. Gary White coming in center. He is there, makes the catch. Very shallow center. 1 pitch, 1 away. That will bring up Dave Bergman. Walked, singled, and grounded out today. And scored a run. First pitch to the left-hander, and he takes the strike, a breaking ball. Trying to double check here to see who the teams were that have scored in every inning of a 9-inning game that the Cubs have done so far. There's a sidearm delivery swung on, missed. Strike 2 on Bergman. He's facing Hernandez for the first time today. Wind up by Ruddy. Whoop, fastball. It really took off. Off the mid of Dave Rader, came all the way back in front of the screen. Just opening up the month of September with a real bang. 4 homers so far. Here's a swing by Bergman on a pitch that jams him, and he dumps it foul down the left field line. Suter picks it up in the glove, puts it over to a young customer in the left field line in the boxes, right near the bullpen. The way things are going, Hernandez could be the winner here today. Would give the left-hander his 8th win of the season. The sidearm delivery, swung out and missed. He fanned Dave Bergman. And for Woody, his first strikeout of the day with the bases empty, 2 gone, 11-9, Cubs leading. Bruce Bochy, the young catcher, will be the hitter. He singled and scored when they put 6 runs on the board in the 2nd inning, drove Kruko to the showers, also Roberts. They sent 10 men to the plate. They had 1 extra base hit in the inning, and that was a triple by Cruz leading off the inning. First pitch to Bochy, and he takes the ball a little bit low. Right-handed hitting catcher, wears glasses. Wind up the pitch, fastball swung out. He drills one deep to left field. Kingman back. Look out, that could be. It is way back in the bleachers. It is now an 11-10 ball game. As Bochy gets his 2nd home run of the year. 2 gone yet. Home run number 5 off Willie Hernandez this year. And home run number 106 off Cub pitching. Pitcher, Sam Beto due up. Let me tell you, Bochy put that one way back deep in the bleachers. Did not leave the ballpark. Whoever was able to catch it out there has got a pretty hot pair of hands. Veteran Jesus Alou is going to pinch hit now for Sam Beto. He's a .333 hitter as a pinch batter. 11 for 33. One time there were 3 Alou brothers in the majors. Franks is calling out Andy Olson, the plate umpire, showing him his lineup card. See if he may want to make a move here. Looks like he is. Dave Rader is heading into the dugout. Dave had made the last out in the 6th inning. And Suter comes running in from the bullpen. He apparently is going to hit in Rader's spot in the batting order. And he's being welcomed by a big cheer. So while Bruce gets in his warm-up tosses in this ball game, which is a real wild one, the Cubs leading 11-10 in the 7th inning. Let's take time out for this message. Fellow that always acts like he's got a crick in the neck. Going to pinch hit against Suter. 23 saves and an earned run average of 2.63. First pitch is the Suter special, swung on a miss. That exploded right into the dirt. He stares down, gets his sign, winds, delivers. Lou strides into it, but takes the ball. All away. Ball one, strike one. Each team with 13 hits. With the Cubs with a one-run lead here in the seventh. Bases empty. The pitch. Swung on. Bounces one down to third. Scott retreats. Gets it on a high up. Throws to Buckner. And Jesus is out to retire the side. A two-out, bases empty homer in the inning off the bat of Bruce Bochy. Nobody left on. And a time for the seventh inning stretch at Wrigley Field. Thought we'd never get to it. The score: the Cubs 11, Houston 10. Attendance this afternoon, 16,117. And on this ladies' day, we have a total of 16,543. That does not include Don Albert, our engineer, Jack Minovich, our producer, me, Vince Lloyd, you, Lou Boudreau. But it does include the free ones we let in today. Saver Sitter, one of the T-shirts. That's down here by some gal Cub fan. Blue on white. And Ivan De Jesus finally ended a drought at the plate with a double in the fifth inning. Is going to be leading off against Tom Dixon. He is their fourth pitcher of the day, right-hander. Fastball whipped in for a strike. We've unofficially 1 for 2, a run batted in today. 28th of the year. There's a swing and a fly ball out into right center. Long run in by Terry. Full dive. Can't make the catch. The Ace is going to stop for second. Here's a throw way high and off the target by Jose Cruz. Really hurried it. And was taken by Dixon between the mound and second base. Bonison, good base running. Makes a double out of a little Texas leaguer. His second two-base hit of the day. He's been 22 for the year. His first one down the right field line. And when Cruz had trouble, as the ball bounced off the bullpen pitching mound out there, it came up and hit him above the wrist and the forearm, got away from him. That was a double. Now stepping in for the first time, Tim Blackwell. He squares away, pushes the butt, front of the plate, picked up by the catcher. Here's the throw by Bochy to first base. A nice sacrifice by Tim. And that puts De Jesus at third with one away. Will be the batter. A one-run lead. The Cubs could use a few more here. I'm told that only twice in a century has a National League team scored in every inning of a 9-inning game. Determine now who they are. Cubs have scored in each of the first 6 innings today. Infield in. Gary takes in. Dixon is a little high with that one. Ball one. It as a pinch hitter in the 5th inning. Is 0 for 1 today. Stayed in to play center. 1-0 delivery. They saw for pitch out. They thought the squeeze was going to be on, but it wasn't. Here's a left-hander. Gary hitting 203. Looks much better from the right side of the plate. It's a stretch the pitch. He swings. Pulls a foul ball sharply against the bricks on the first base side. Ball 2, strike 1 pitch. Here it is. Swung down, got a piece of it, fouled it back out of play. The last time club in the National League scored in every inning, the Cardinals against the Cubs, September 1964. As the swing, he's out in front of that one, hits a long foul out of play. You ever play in one, Lou, where you scored in every inning?
No, I never have.
Well, maybe you have, because Cleveland did it against Philadelphia in July 1894.
I just missed that one.
2-2 pitch to Jerry. Swung on, base hit. That's the pulled in second baseman into center field, and the Cubs are back to a 2-run lead as Jesus scores. Nice cut to waste that lead-off double. That brings up Rodney Scott. He's been a busy guy today. Has scored 3 runs. Walked a couple of times, got an infield hit. It's 1 for 2 officially. Struck out in the second. And Jerry with fine speed makes a pretty good lead. Throw to first base by Dixon. Jerry back in plenty of time. Cubs with 15 hits and leading in the ball game. There's another throw to first, and he's back safely. Leading in the ball game, 12-10. Cubs with 4 home runs today, 3 doubles. Houston with 1 homer, a triple out of their 13 hits. Here's the pitch. High and away. Whoop. Sorry. Premature call by your broadcaster. The pitch is called a strike.
I have 6 doubles for the Cubs, not 3.
6 doubles for the Cubs?
Yeah.
That's probably right.
And I know what doubles are.
I know you do. More than anybody in the world outside of one guy, perhaps.
Yeah. He's a triple shooter.
You say triple or cripple?
Both.
Another throw by Dixon. Good move that time. He's back safely. Only 15 hits by the Cubs so far. 13 by the Astros. That's the kind of a game these kids really love. 0-1 delivery. He goes. And Scott pulls the butt past the pitcher. Finally picked up. Throws. Hey! Calls him out at first base. Dixon made a very fine move off the mound. That ball looked like it was going to be by him. And a very fine grab by Watson as he shoveled the ball out of the glove to the first baseman. Very, very close. Houston gets the call. Runner at second base. Here's Buckner, who's going to get a standing ovation. They are not going to pitch to him. But there's a crowd reaction. An intentional walk to Buckner. And good reason for it. He's a left-handed hitter. You have Kingman, a right-hander, due up. But Buckner today, a couple of doubles, a 2-run homer, driven in 4 runs with 3 hits. And here is King Kong. With Cub runners at first and second. Dave went to right field back in the first inning at double. Brought in Buckner with it. Singled in the 4th. He's batted in 2 runs. Pick off a tip at second base. And Drumright, the second baseman, with Kingman at bat, took the throw about 10 feet directly behind second. That's where he's playing. Actually just shaded a little bit on the shortstop side. Side-arm pitch swung on. It's a ground ball. Shortstop coming in. Picks it up. Takes over to second base, and Buckner is forced at second, so the intentional walk pays off. And the Cubs are retired, but not before they keep up their string. They have now scored in each of the first 7 innings. 1 run here on a couple of hits. An intentional walk, 2 men left on. And at the end of 7 full innings of play, it's the Cubs 12 and Houston 10. Here before the Astros come to bat for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
And at 4:29, this is WGN Radio Chicago.
Vince Lloyd, a Lubu draw here with you at Wrigley Field. A wild one. Bruce Sutter working in relief. And the first pitch. Landesdoy, the leadoff man, takes in at the ball. Guy's fast. He looks in there at the ball, low and inside. Popped out of the mid of Blackwell. Goes behind the Cub catcher. Bagel has come up from Midland, Texas. Scott Thompson. Dave Geisel, Manny Cione. There's a fastball, and Sutter gets it in for a strike. Rudy Mioli is back. Ed Putman, Mike Sember, 2 pitchers. Total of 7 all told. A little extra on Evan. It's a little bit low. He's gone to 3-1 now. Landesdoy, former Dodger property. 3 hits today, a stolen base, 2 runs scored, and a run batted in. 3-1 delivery. He takes strike right at the letters. 3-2 on it. Grumbling a little bit to Andy Olson about that call. Sutter winds, 3-2 delivery. Swung on, he chops the foul ball. Goes over to the first base side. They still have another player coming from the Dodgers when they sent Joe Ferguson back to L.A. for Landesdoy. Wind up by Bruce. Goes after that pitch, dumps it into left field for a base hit. Kingman comes in to pick it up. Landesdoy is on with his 4th straight hit. He just worries you to death. Keith Drumright, who was dealt by the Cubs to this ball club for a minor leaguer, steps in. He has a run batted in today. His first in the majors. He got his first single in the majors in the 4th, and he scored his first run in the majors in the 2nd after he threw a walk off Dave Roberts. Looks at the first pitch of ball. Young left-hander, about 5'10", 170. Played at Charleston in the minors. He goes after that pitch, gets under it, hits a high foul. Blackwell is sporting a beautiful beard. Looked at it, gets way back up onto the net. Ball 1, strike 1. Sutter came on in the 7th after Bochy hit a homer off Hernandez. That's their only home run so far today. Joaquin Andujar is now throwing in the Houston bullpen. Sutter's 1-1 delivery. Big swing and a miss. Ball 1, strike 2. To 10 ball game. Cubs leading. They have 14 hits, the Cubs 15. Sutter's delivery. Swung on, it slapped the ground ball. Trio to his right. And the ball jumps up over his glove, winds up in the outfield grass. Landesdoy going to third without a play. And that will be a single, the second of the day for Drumright. As Trio, the ball got by Sutter, scooted towards second with his glove out, hoping to get that ball, but it jumped up at the last moment and almost hit him in the head. Two singles to lead off off the 8th inning, and each team with 15 hits. There's Terry Poole. Nobody out. Hitter's delivery. Swung out of it. He had a little extra on that one. I want to remind you again, we'll have a doubleheader Sunday. Second game is to mark the 15,000th game in the Cub history in the National League, and there will be a certificate given to you at the ball game Sunday to commemorate that occasion. Here's the pitch. He swings ground ball, slow roller to Trio. He tries to make a one-handed catch, can't do it. Finally makes the pickup and the throw to first too late. That will be an error. He just plain down got casual with that one, Lou.
Yes, he was. He wanted to feel it one-handed, it looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he was going to feel it one-handed and sweep at that man or not. Running in front of him, but he took his eye off of the ball.
And he loses the play, and a run scores to make it 12-11. Not fritter this thing away. They'll give Terry Poole a run batted in anyway. So they now have the tying run at second base. The go-ahead run on is at first. There's nobody out. Now he'll be facing Jose Cruz, their cleanup hitter. He tripled to lead off the second inning, and before the Cubs got the third out, they had a 6-5 lead. Here's the pitch. Into the dirt. Bounces away from Blackwell to the runners, advancing the throw to third too late. Runners at second and third. Man, oh man. That's the fifth wild pitch charge against Sutter. And Herman Franks is coming out. And he is not looking very pleased. Landeskog led off the inning, throwing his bat at a pitch, dumping it into shallow left field for his fourth straight single. Then Drumright hit one up the middle, got by Sutter, and took a bat hop, almost hit Trio, was going to his right, almost hit him in the head as it jumped over his glove for a single. And Poole reaching on an Trio's error. Now a wild pitch, and they've got runners at second and third with nobody out. To put guy out intentionally. Well, the Cubs led 5-0. Coming into this inning, they had themselves a 12-10 lead. It is now 12-11. Nobody out, and the bases loaded. And a right-hander, Enos Cabell, stepping in. Batted in 2 runs today, one with a sacrifice fly. That was in the big second inning. And he singled and brought in a run in the 4th inning. Bell, a tall, slender, right-handed hitter. 1 for 3 officially today. Shooter from the stretch. Swing and a miss. He'll never, ever throw that split-fingered fastball any better than that one. He needs a few more to get out of this jam. Fastball any better than that one. He needs a few more to get out of this jam. Here's a stretch to pitch. He swung and missed. And he faced a bad one that time. Thank heaven. 0-2. For the second time today, right-hander Manny Sione, just up from Wichita, is throwing in the Cub bullpen. 12-11. Bases jammed by Houston Astros with nobody out. 0-2 pitch. Into the dirt in front of the plate. Blackwell spun around, didn't know where the ball was. Right at the front edge of the plate. Ball 1, strike 2. 1-2 delivery. Swung on. Ground ball to Scott. He's going to come to the plate for one. Blackwell fires to first. Look out. Nice save by Buckner. Holy mackerel. Blackwell in his haste to try to get a double play that would have been almost miraculous. Almost threw the ball away. Buckner diving up the line. To try to get a double play that would have been almost miraculous. Almost threw the ball away. Buckner diving up the line and into foul territory. Saved it. They get one away. Forced at the plate is Keith Drumright. Cabell on with a fielder's choice. Cruz on at second. Poole at third. And Bob Watson the hitter. This guy can be real poison. First pitch. Swung on. Foul ball. Thank heaven. Down the third base line. Watson's been plagued with some injuries this year. And he is not at all pleased with what he's been able to accomplish at the plate so far today because he has struck out twice, grounded into a double play, and flied out to center field. Owen pitches a ball that breaks a little bit too low. Ball one, strike one. Still a 12-11 score. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hammers the ground ball, backhanded by DeJesus, goes second for one, the relay. Take it. Who cannot run fast, was out to retire the side. There's a case where the intentional walk really paid off. One run in the eighth inning. The first three batters reached. 2 hits, an error, and 2 men left on. So at the end of 7 1/2, the Cubs come to bat, leading Houston 12-11. Mercer is to lead off against Tom Dixon. How'd you like that double play, Lou?
That was a great one, and it came at the right time. We needed it. They executed it beautifully. Both ends of it. With DeJesus going into the hole, backhanding that ball, and turning with good speed and throwing the trio who got rid of that ball. I think he was hit when he got rid of it. That's the type of plays that you have to have if you're going to play winning baseball.
If the Cubs could pick up a couple more runs. That could well be the game-saving play for the Cubs today. Andahar is going to be their new pitcher. The 5th of the day by the Astros. He's a right-hander. Richard was coaxed through 3 2/3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 8 runs. Floyd Bannister, an inning and a third, 2 hits, a run, a walk. Zambito, an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, a walk. Dixon, 1 inning, a hit, a walk, a run. And now Andahar. Bobby Mercer takes the first pitch from him, a strike. Bobby today is a 6-run homer, a double in the 6th inning. Sandwiched in between a pair of strikeouts. That pitches the ball to him, 1-1. Andahar, 4 wins, 4 losses. Has started 13 games. This is his 12th relief appearance. The right-hander delivers a breaking ball that misses inside. Ball 2, strike 1 on Bobby. It's been his zany one. The Cubs started out with a 5-run lead after 1 inning of play. After an inning and a half, Houston led 6-5. And Mike Burko was pitched so superbly for the Cubs, just inexplicably couldn't hold them in. He did not finish the second inning. And Dave Roberts couldn't offer any relief at all. He gave up 2 walks and a 2-run single to the 3 left-handers that he faced. And there's the ball. Ball 3, strike 1. Mystifying game. Not just today. 3-1 delivery. Swung on, hits a hard ground ball down to the first baseman. And he is out unassisted, and down at first base is Dave Bergman now. Moved in from left field. Out at left field is Walling. Jimmy Enright just making the announcement on those changes here to the public address system. Manny Trio did a great job of getting off that relay throw to retire the side in the top of the inning. Steps in and he takes a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. And that looks pretty disgusted. Young catcher, Bochy going out to talk to him. One hit in his last 12 at-bats on the road. Homered in the first inning today, his 4th home run of the year. Then he singled and scored leading off the 5th. Came in on De Jesus' double, and that double by Ivan ended an 0 for 14 string for the shortstop. 1-0 pitch. Takes a fastball a little bit low, 2-0. Is the night game started here, Lou?
Yeah, Stone starting on the mound for the White Sox against Palmer of Baltimore. That's the first of 2 in Baltimore.
This way, the fastball that's out of play, or foul ball, rather. Palmer coming on strong for the Orioles. A veteran today going after his 17th win of the year. This may be a season in which the National League will not have a 20-game winner. Maybe. Blue of the Giants with 16 wins, 7 losses. Gaylord Perry lost his bid for his 16th win for the Padres the other night against the Phillies. There's a fastball for a strike, 2-2. And Bert Hooton of the Dodgers still has an outside shot at winning 20. He's 15-8. With the ball by Andahar outside, 3-2. Got it, apparently, is Ron Guidry. With the Yankees over in the American League, he's 19-2. Caldwell of Milwaukee, a good shot at it. He has 17 wins. And there is ball 4. Manny Trio, the ball gets away from Bochy. John's down to first base with a walk with 1 away in the 8th. Every one of the Houston pitchers today has issued at least 1 walk. Well, one by Dixon in the 7th inning was intentional. Zambito walked the first man he faced, Rodney Stott, in the 2nd. Take it back. Bannister didn't walk anybody. Here's Sitter. Let's see if he can sacrifice Trio long. Throw to first to keep him close. He's hitting where Dave Rader was. Dave had made the last out in the 6th inning. Squares away and takes one high and tight. Ball 1. They have a contest among the Cubs for who has the best looking beard. The vote may go to Rick Russell. Pitch here tomorrow. 1-0 pitch. He puts it a bunt foul on the first base side. It's 1-1. Mercer just can't throw one. Beards were never big in Oklahoma anyway. pitch. He squared away, he's going to punt. Takes that fastball high. Ball 2, strike 1. Ball 2, strike 1 count. Here it is. Suter bunts one out towards the mound. Picked up by Andahar. Looks at second, has no play. Throws down to first base to turn right. Sacrifice, puts Trio in scoring position with 2 away. Here's Ivan DeJesus. Ended the first inning when the Cubs had a 5-0 lead by flying out the center, walked in the third, doubled and drove in Trio in the fifth, doubled off Tom Dixon, leading off the seventh. The score here in the bottom of the eighth, the Chicago Cubs 12 and the Houston Astros 11, and Ivan is going to get his second walk of the day, an intentional one. And Tim Blackwell, who came on to do the catching in the seventh inning, will be the batter after this intentional pass that puts Cub runners at first and second. Each team with 15 base hits. The Cubs have 4 homers, 6 doubles. That's the 6th walk that's been issued to them. Tomorrow, same 2 teams go at it again. Blackwell is being sent back to the dugout, and Larry Fichtner is going to pinch hit. Larry 7 for 22 as a pinch batter with 10 runs batted in as a pinch hitter. A long time, Lou, since Harmon's had the luxury of more than 2 catches.
He's got the luxury now with the extra men that he can maneuver early or late, whenever he sees fit.
Hits off Richard, the starter, in 3 2/3 innings. 2 off Bannister, 2 off Sanvito, 2 off Dixon. Haven't had a hit yet off Andahar. But he has walked 2 men, 1 intentionally. And let's see if Perry can increase the lead. This is only a 1-run lead. State attendance today, just a little over 16,100. He takes the first pitch of the ball, missing way inside at the knees. For the year, Fichtner hitting .267 with 46 runs batted in, 4 homers. Cubs as a team, 4 home runs here today. 60 now for the year. And Andahar stepped off the pitching rubber. He came up with Cincinnati too, didn't he, though?
Yeah.
Andahar, yeah. And he was pretty upset when they shoved him off, and he terrorized him. Those Reds after that several times. There's a swing. He gets under that pitch and fouls it out of play, third base side. Fichtner is beginning to grow his beard a little bit late. That was started by the pitchers. Now some of the other fellows are getting into the act. Day at the old ballpark with 30 base hits so far, spread equally between these 2 clubs. The runs darn near spread evenly. That's with 1 more than Houston. 1-1 delivery. Fichtner takes it high. Fastball, 2-1. Gone more than 3 hours. 2-1 pitch. There's the ball, a breaking pitch. Inside above the knees. Ball 3, strike 1. Jerry White in the on-deck circle. And a Fichtner gets a base on balls here. White will step in with the bases loaded. hitter brought up by the Cubs from the minors is Scott Thompson, who ended up with a home run in his last game at Wichita. 3-1 pitch. Bittner swing, bouncing ball back at second base. Base hit. Here comes Trio around. They score the relay through late. Bill Riley by Endahar gets the screen behind the plate. And the Aces winds up a third and Bittner at second. And it comes back out in front by a pair. 13-11. Who's got him in the 13-run goal, I wonder? So Bittner comes through again as a pinch hitter. Base for 23, and that's the 11th run he has batted in a pinch hitting role. The Cubs have now scored in every one of the first 8 innings today. First hit off Endahar, who is charged with an error on his wild heave from just down the line at third to the plate. Sailed into the screen. That's the first error today. Permits the runners to get to second and third. First one by Houston. Gary White stepping in with Cub runners at second and third, 2 away, batting left-handed. And a high from the windup. Look out, he almost hit him with a curve. Gary used the bat to vault across the plate, way over on the third base side. Ball 1. Cubs 16th hit of the day off the bat of Bittner. Wind up, 1-0 delivery. Takes the strike on the inside corner, barely nipping the black of the plate, right at the belt. Ball 1, strike 1. It is a wild one. Wind up the pitch. Look out. Fastball misses in very tight at the letters. Withdrew from it just a little bit. Ball 2, strike 1. Shadows now across the plate, across the pitcher's mound. Wind up by Endahar. Takes another ball way inside. 3-1. Pitch coming up. Here it is. Very high. That one really took off. Ball 4. Bases are loaded. And Endahar cannot look for help yet. Now Mel White steps out. Get the attention of one of the bullpen crew members that's left out there. Going to be Williams, the right-hander. Rodney Scott stepping in with the bases loaded. 2 gone in the 8th. Here's the windup in the pitch. Takes the fastball for a strike. He has scored 3 runs today. Twice on walks, 1 on a single. Here's the pitch. There's the ball. Missing inside, a breaking pitch. DeJesus at third, Bittner at second base. Gary White on at first, and Endahar in a jam. Steps off the pitching rubber. Hey, he balked. He balked. He had his hands in a set position, I thought, Lou, on the rubber. Just before he stepped back, he broke them, didn't he? He wanted to change the sign, but broke his hands as he stepped back off of the rubber. And the Cubs, 14th run of the day, scores on that balk. We've had a little bit of everything. He meant, of course, to step off first, but he didn't do it. Step off the pitching rubber first, I should say. So it's a count of 1-1, and a windup and a fastball misses inside. Ball 2, strike 1. Still 2 out. This inning, the Cubs have had only 1 hit. Single by Bittner. Wind up, 2-1 delivery. Swung on, bouncing ball to the second baseman drum right. He's got it. Here's the peg over to first. The side is retired. But 2 runs in the 8th inning. On 1 hit, 1 error, a balk. 3 bases on balls and 2 men left. Cubs out in front of the Houston Astros at the end of 8, 14-11.
I'll handle this, Carol. It's our first new car, and this salesman is going to come at us like a ton of bricks.
But the sign says we make car buying a pleasure again.
I don't care. Medium what? Yes, sir? Nice place you have here.
Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today. Find out how we can make car buying a pleasure for you.
Catcher of the ball game stepping in. I guess it'll be Sam Beto who's going to be charged with a loss if things hold up the way they are. First pitch to Dave Berkman, Maine South High School, leading off. He has a single and a walk, has scored a run. He took that first one for a strike, and he swings and misses for strike 2. It may soon be over. Some of the crowd beginning to head for the exits. Supper time. Sutter standing in the shadow on the hill, looks down, gets his sign from Cox, steps back to wind up the 0-2 pitch. He lays off, and that one breaks into the dirt low. Ball 1, strike 2. Let's take a moment for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
And this is WGN Radio Chicago at 5:01.
Sutter today going after his 24th save. Bruce winds. Here's the pitch to Berkman. Look out of his for strike 3. That is Sutter's first strikeout this afternoon in 1 2/3 innings. Will be the batter. He homered in the 7th off Hernandez with the bases empty. Their only home run so far today. And his second of the year. Right-hander takes, and there's the ball. 31 base hits. 25 runs. And the Cubs have tied a record by scoring in every inning today. Here's the windup to Bochy. Goes after it. Hits one foul. Back on the line of the plate. First. Ball 1, strike 2. Much earlier today, California knocked off Toronto 6-4 to move to within a game and a half of Kansas City in the American League Western Division. The Yankees, who trailed Boston in the American League East by 6.5, have won 7 in a row. 1-2 pitch. Taps a little foul over to the third base side. Sutter is the 6th pitcher that Herman Franks has used today. By the time the Houstons retired in the 2nd inning, he had employed 3 pitchers. Krukow, Roberts, and Moore. Since then, McLaughlin, Hernandez, and now Sutter. But you got extra men this time of the year. 1-2 pitch. Goes after it. Pops a foul ball. Buckner giving chase. Forget it, Bill. Back into the seats behind their dugout. The Astros have used 5 pitchers today. And the Cubs have scored against every one of them. Of course, they've scored against everybody except McLaughlin. Usnachi's head as Cox gives him a sign. Here's the pitch, and it just missed at the knee. Ball 2, strike 2. Lined up 2-2 delivery. Swung on and fouled just out of the bit of cock. Still alive and barely. Walling in the on-deck circle. Wind up, 2-2 delivery. Goes after the outside delivery. Taps one back of the mound. Picked up by DeJesus on the run. He throws, and he's got him at first base. Beautiful play.
Jesus wound up Blue almost over at first base, didn't he? Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, fellas. The game isn't over with yet.
Let's give him 3 outs anyhow.
Eddie Sainsbury a little quick on the trigger.
Wait a minute.
He said, oh, wait a minute, it's not over.
Well, it's a score. The way this ball game has been going, I can't blame him.
Yeah.
Everybody's a little rocky.
Yeah. Yes, I are. There are 2 away. Or should I say there is? Walling batting left-handed. Hitting .234. First time up today. Went into play left field. And he takes that one for a strike, and the Cubs are just 1 out away now from posting a victory. Despite the fact Houston has 15 hits. Wind up the pitch. Swung out of this. He takes one into the dirt. Dropped by Cox. Tagged him to end the ball game. The Cubs win it. Bruce finishing with a flurry. His second strikeout. Well, it was a long and a tough one, but they did it. Final, Cubs 14, Houston 11. It's the end of the growing season. It's also time for fresh decisions that improve